Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for your afternoon BETSPRESSO. Happy Friday to all of you out there. I'm Danny Burke. Alongside me is none other than Nate Hornung, a.k.a. Shaggy Betts at Shaggy_Betts on the tweets at Danny Burke 5 for myself. And at your betting news for the Betting News Network, of course, which we are live on right now, presented by Lucky Rebel. Mad Shags, happy to be here with you as always, brother. Yeah, scan that QR code right over yonder, over this
over
way.
There.
Get yourself set up with plenty of action, not only for tonight, but the entire weekend. And I talk weekend because, of course, we've got the Final Four, and nobody who is better to talk about it with than the man right next to me. Guided us well last week. I was texting him after every game. It felt like it came down right to the wire for every single bet, Shags, but you treated my bankroll well. So I appreciate that. And I'm very much looking forward to talking some March Madness, baseball, NBA with you. We're going all over the place, but excited as always, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad we're doing this Friday show together. We got Bisney helping us out in the shadows as well. And yeah, hey, last week we had some success betting the Elite Eight matchups. They were sweaty. All right, they came down to the wire, like you said, but that's all we can hope for, right? A nice sweat all game long, and then we end up on the right side of things. So let's hope we do it again this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, like we said, we'll certainly get into the Final Four matchups. Of course, we have UConn and Illinois, and then Michigan and Arizona, both of those games tomorrow afternoon. We have a full slate of NBA action tonight. I know Shag's got some thoughts, myself included. I've got plenty of props to go around. And baseball-wise, during the spring and in the summer, Shag's beautiful thing about it is we have day baseball. We already have a handful of games that finished. If you read my article or tune in to any given wager, we started off with a dub, which is always good heading into the weekend. Yeah, we love that. We took the Red Sox on the money line, minus $120. They came through winning 5-2 against the Padres. Just a second win for the Red Sox this season. Kind of felt like it was a much needed opportunity for them with Sonny Gray taking the bump, and he came through for us, as did their offense. So we'll take it up at that point with the Red Sox to kick it off. We got a couple more later tonight, and I'll be sure to rehash some of those plays that I have. But Shags, are you kind of waiting a little bit till you get into the baseball scene, kind of post March Madness?
Yeah, definitely waiting for March Madness to be over. I'll probably wait till April's over, to be honest. Get kind of a full month of some numbers to work with going on in the season. I will say, though, a couple mornings ago on the morning spread, we actually cashed a Nerfie live on the show. And, I not a whole lot of thought and process goes into betting those Nerfies. But, we had some 11 o'clock baseball live in chat. Figured we should sweat out a bet together. And it came home from the kids. Actually, two of them did. Unfortunately, I didn't get on the first one. I didn't press the button in time. Did my line shopping, like Bisney likes to get mad at me for. But we did our due diligence. We missed out on a winner, but we cashed one as well. So, yeah, I'll be waiting to really dive in till post-April and post-March Madness. But I'm looking forward to it, I guess. Baseball's not my favorite. I got to respect anyone that does it, caps it day in and day out. Because, 162 game season. Holy cow, man. How do you stay focused for that long? But shout out to those that do. Not necessarily my favorite cup of tea, but yeah, we'll be diving into some baseball here in the next month or so.
Yeah, so like we said, we'll get into tonight's baseball slate. No worries about that. I've got a couple more that I'll be sweating out. And yeah, the more the merrier. I love when people are getting, involved with baseball once it gets to those slower months. I know some people go, oh, you're just doing it because you got nothing else to go. Hey, it still takes a lot to get invested into baseball for those who aren't as passionate about it right off the jump. So no, I'll be happy to talk about that more and more with you as the season progresses. But it is tough at the beginning of the year, especially from my vantage point. It's tough to navigate with limited sample sizes and such a metrically built handicap. And then I feel the same way towards the end of the year. Like you said, how do you stay motivated for 162 games?
Right.
Not only from a viewership and fan perspective, especially if your team's out of the race, but then from these players' perspective in such a long season, can you rely on those same numbers? How do you factor that in on a game-to-game basis? It is difficult. So it is a tough sport, sometimes to watch, sometimes to cap, but excited about getting into the thick of it nonetheless. And
excuse me. I was just going to say, if the Royals are good, I am much more involved in baseball. And, they're 3-3 start. It is what it is. But, as long as the hometown team's doing well, I'll be more inclined to tap in and follow along.
I was gonna say I got some hope for your boys this year. Last year they kind of let me down. I was optimistic about them, but
Right.
I think they're due for a little bit of a bounce back.
And that kind of seems to be the theme. I've seen a lot of smart people in the industry are very high on the Royals this year, whether it's, to go over their win total or win the Central or even make the World Series. I've seen a lot of people whose opinions I respect all over the Royals, and it's just getting me excited for this summer. And yes, Austin, that's a great segue, actually. A bit of a system play I was doing, not necessarily last year because I fell off the wagon there, but 2 years ago, in 2024, I was betting the Royals religiously on Friday nights at home. I called it an MLB system play because if you look back in 2023, the Royals at home on Friday nights, they won, I want to say like 63% of games. They covered the run line in like 57, 58% of games. And then they went over their team total of 4.5 in around about 60% of games as well. So that was a system I was kind of following in 2024. Didn't do it much in 2025, but I might have to bring it back this year. And, we've got one tonight. They're at home tonight facing the Milwaukee Brewers. You can get them at a nice price on the money line at -105. But Friday nights at the K, I'm telling you, man, there is some magic in the air. The Royals come to play ball at home.
I, for whatever reason, do kind of remember this trend. It might have been from when I first hopped on, like over this past summer, and you talked about it. So, like, wait, I have heard that somewhere before.
Friday nights at the K, man. Friday nights at the K.
Oh, I love it. Well, yeah, that'll be. Hey, I'll be rooting for you as a Cubs fan.
Let's
take
go.
care of business
Take
against
down.
the Brew Crew. Fine with me. Let's go Royals on a Friday night, baby. All right, Shags. Well, we'd be remiss here if we didn't begin this show with a little bit of Husker talk. You know how that goes now in back-to-back weeks. It's unfortunately becoming a trend for you and literally anybody else who doesn't care about Nebraska, because why should you? But there was some news that came out of Lincoln today, and that was Fred Hoiberg being announced the AP Coach of the Year. Not shocking. I mean, Nebraska turning around their program. And look, I don't know. I'll give my brief rant and obviously more curious what you have to say. It's a cool award to have. It's great. It's sickening that it's taken this long for the program to be turned around. And it feels still not good for him to win this based on how awful that last game was, still leaving a disgusting, lingering taste on my tongue. So a guy who gets 4 players on the floor, give him Coach of the Year. I realize that voting happened before and all that, but obviously I'm still not salty about that loss from the Huskers. But nevertheless, you said before the show you had some thoughts, and I'm glad you do because I actually thought you're just gonna be like, yeah, whatever, who cares? But take it away, my man. Tell us your reaction to Freddie Hoyt winning Coach of the Year, the Mayor, baby.
I mean, look, he certainly deserved it. All right. I'm not going to come on here and say that someone else was more deserving of this award, because if you look at the whole scope of college basketball, the story of the year clearly was the Nebraska Cornhuskers and what Fred Hoiberg did. And, he had his stint coaching the Iowa State Cyclones, a little bit of success there, but not really living up to the standard of that program. Then he had some time, coaching in the NBA with the Chicago Bulls. And now he's back in the college realm with Nebraska, been there for multiple years now. And it took him a while to get there. Looking at Nebraska's first few seasons under Hoiberg, not good. 7 wins, 10 wins. Finally, they go 500 in 2022, 2023. But now Nebraska, a fairly successful basketball program. They made it to the tournament in 24, didn't quite get a win. They won the college basketball crown last season after going 21-14. And now they have less than 10 losses for the first time in probably a while, possibly ever, for the Nebraska basketball team. So, look, I was anti-Nebraska when their admin, I'm never going to let their admin live this down, tweeted out that they were the basketball capital of America. All right. They're never going to hear the end of that from me. But you got to respect what Hoiberg was able to do this season with those players. It's not like he had a bunch of 5-star talent on his roster. His son was a starting point guard. not a knock on Sam Hoiberg, great basketball player, but still, it's not like you had a bunch of these blue chip recruits coming in and taking over this Nebraska basketball program. So, got to tip my cap to Hoiberg. You get your first 2 tournament wins in program history. That's something to be said. And, he's done a great job of turning this Nebraska Cornhuskers program around. So shout out to Fred Hoiberg, definitely deserving of the coach of the year. And so I'm glad they gave it to him.
Now, again, I don't want to, drain everybody's ears and spend too much time on this, but of course, you're way more in depth with the college basketball scene than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a potential one-off for Nebraska, or is this going to be a consistent theme now? Because Hoiberg's not necessarily a recruiter. He's someone who's attacking the transfer portal and utilizing it in that fashion. So that's kind of my worry, is that not that they're going to be terrible, but that they're not going to have that same level of stardom in the following seasons.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the transfer portal and it's going to be full of talent. Obviously, that's just the nature of college basketball nowadays. Yes, Bisney, I was going to bring that up. So
did they lose Jamarcus Lawrence already too? He's going to some school like UCF or something.
Yeah, I believe. Let me pull up old 24/7. See
Alex,
what the
you don't like
transfer
Lawrence?
portal looks like. He's okay with that one going. Let me look at the Big Ten, Nebraska. What's their portal status look like? Nothing officially, I guess, on this website, at least in the portal, but you guys would know better than me who's jumping ship. But yes, Braden Frager obviously in talks with the Jayhawks. It'll be interesting to see, who comes back, who he does kind of find in the portal, because I'm more old school, so I like when you do recruit the guys out of high school, build them up for 4 years, and get to evolve them all throughout their collegiate career, as opposed to just having a guy come over for 1, maybe 2 seasons. So, it'll be interesting to see just who's on the team next year. A lot of question marks, obviously, surrounding the Cornhuskers, but surrounding really every college basketball program. Because I will bring up my own Kansas Jayhawks, Flory Badunga, in the portal, likely not coming back to the Kansas Jayhawks next year, because that guy's got quite the price tag on his head. Apparently, he's searching out $5 million per year for to go play for whomever it's going to be. Probably the Duke Blue Devils, if I had to guess. But yeah, that's just the nature of the landscape now. It's college basketball. Yeah. Every transfer portal season is just a bidding war between these programs to see who they can bring back. So I trust Hoiberg, though. I don't necessarily think it's a one-off. Do I think Nebraska is going to be as good next year? I really don't know, because we don't know who's on the team yet. We don't know who's filling that roster. So I'll wait to give a real opinion once I see who's actually on the team. But I think Nebraska basketball could be turning a corner. That's for sure.
All right, I'll take it. Well, let's talk some current college basketball with the Final Four coming up tomorrow. I know you already discussed a little bit about, well, more than a little bit, but about these games earlier this morning. So we could talk a little bit about it now, because I didn't catch your show, unfortunately. So knowing that we were scheduled together, I always, want to keep it fresh and get the thoughts right off the cuff here. So let's talk about the first game. Tip off 6:09 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow with Illinois and UConn. Now, selfishly, this may be the same like with fantasy lineups. Everyone says no one cares. Well, I'm going to say briefly, Shags, that in 2 out of the 3 competing, or rather, I've told you before, like I probably had like 6 brackets I did. 2 of them, I ended up with 3 out of the 4 of the Final Four teams. I had Tennessee as the other one that killed me in both, but I had the other ones there. Now, the one that I actually still have a chance, it seems like, is I need Arizona to win the whole damn thing, basically, and I need UConn not to. So selfishly, I'll be rooting for Illinois, because I think I have Illinois over UConn, and then naturally Arizona over Michigan, and then Arizona winning it. What are the chances that happens, starting with Illinois overcoming UConn? Do we feel like, UConn just with that movie finish? I mean, you had a week still off of that. Like, does that play into account? How do you affect that into your handicap?
Yeah, I mean, UConn's got one of the best coaches in the game with Dan Hurley, so it's I'm not worried about their focus at all. Obviously they celebrated that win, obviously a big time storybook finish, like you said. So you're gonna celebrate that. Obviously, you're gonna celebrate making it to the Final Four, but I'm sure Monday morning Dan Hurley was ready to go. Moving on. We're not finished yet. The job's not done. We came here to win the national title. Let's go out and do it. Now, with that being said, I will also be cheering for the Illini as I have a 40-1 future on them in my back pocket. I've also got them -2 that I did book on Sunday night. So I like the Illini. Getting Dan Hurley as a dog doesn't happen very often. I read a tweet actually earlier today from Ben Fox that this will be UConn's first time ever being being underdogs in 2 consecutive March Madness games since 2017. That hasn't happened in quite some time. So again, getting Hurley as an underdog, pretty dang good. However, I really like this Illini team. I've been high on them all year long. I think they're just a matchup nightmare for really anyone, especially this UConn team that does struggle to shoot from outside sometimes. Obviously, we saw Braylon Mullins knock it down when it mattered against the Duke Blue Devils, but we actually saw these two teams play way back in the day. November 28th, they met at Madison Square Garden for a little non-conference game, and UConn handled business. They were 4.5-point favorites. They won by 13. The total stayed well under the 151.5-point number. But you look at the box score, and things have certainly changed since then. Back then, Eric Uribe, the freshman for UConn, he played more than Terrace Reed Jr. in that game. Braylon Mullins only saw about 10 minutes on the floor. Mahalo Petrovic played more than Keaton Wagler for the Illini. Jake Davis, a big-time part of their rotation now, only played 8 total minutes in that game. So I'm not taking too much from that into account when handicapping this game, because we've got 2 basically completely different teams going head-to-head. And obviously the market agrees, putting Illinois as a slight favorite in this game. I really like the under as well, though. So I am going to be on Illinois UConn under 139.5. Again, we've got 2 teams that are pretty slow. Neither likes to run as fast as they can. They like to be meticulous on offense, kind of play a chess match, if you will, between Dan Hurley and Brad Underwood. They're going to take their time. They're going to run their sets. They're going to make sure they get a good shot every single time down the floor. But Illinois' defensive unit is rock solid. Although they can't really force turnovers, actually the worst team in the nation in forcing turnovers, but they contest shots, they block out, and they hit the glass like no one else in the country. So they've held the last 3 teams to under 60 total points, held all 3 of those teams, VCU, Houston, and Iowa, all under 40% shooting from the floor. If they can do that to UConn, there's no reason they shouldn't win this game. So I like the Illini. I'm on the Illini. A smarter man than me would probably use this opportunity to hedge that 40-1 future. I am not doing that. I am just putting more on the Illini and hoping they come out on top.
Oh, I like that thought process, because you already like them on a side, objectively speaking. If you didn't have that 40-1, I imagine that it would still be the same approach.
Exactly.
And then if they make it to the championship game, then we could talk about hedging, but you're still a game out, and a lot of things can occur in that time. So yeah, I agree with you. I'd at least wait till one more game and then see what it looks like at that point. But I'm glad to hear you like the Fighting Illini. And again, I didn't watch really any college basketball, but from the brief amounts that I did, it just felt like this team was really good, but flying under the radar kind of all year. And then especially when they got eliminated immediately in the Big Ten Conference Tournament, one of those teams that just needed that spark. We see it time and time again, and clearly it's worked well for Illinois, and hopefully it works well for at least one more game, if not for another one, so you can cash in your 40-1 ticket on the Fighting Illini. Now, the second game here, Shags, same thing, narrow spread, about 1.5. You've got Michigan, you've got Arizona. Again, I'm personally going to be rooting for Arizona. Am I going to be feeling good by the end of this game, or do you think I may be a tad bit disappointed?
Look, man, this is a coin flip. You've got the 2 best teams in college basketball. People have said it all week long that this is the real national championship. That's how I feel. I think Arizona or Michigan will be able to beat UConn or Illinois, whoever ends up making the national championship. But again, this is such a short spread, like you said. It's a coin flip. It could go either way. You've got 2 very good front courts, and both offenses like to play through their front courts as well. We see neither team shoot the outside shot very often. Michigan much more than the Wildcats do. But again, both teams like to pound the ball inside, get their big guys touches, find easy looks close to the hoop. Now, I was going to bet the underdog in this game, regardless of who it was. Whether it was Michigan, whether it was Arizona, I was always going to bet the underdog just because, in my mind, getting either of these teams with a plus sign next to their name just to win the game is value. That's what I would determine as value in this game. So I'm on Arizona. I'm on the money line at plus 105. It actually works out for me because I've got Arizona in my bet slips. I actually have Arizona in my bracket, cutting down the nets as well. But as you might have heard me say, I do have the Michigan Wolverines in a Calcutta pool. So I'm personally going to profit either way, no matter who wins this game. But I got a little bit more on Arizona. I'll be rooting for the Wildcats to get the job done here. I mean, Dusty May, he's been to the Final Four before. Tommy Lloyd hasn't, but Tommy Lloyd just announced he's going to stay with Arizona. Got a nice contract extension there, so there was talks of maybe he would move to UNC. Maybe his focus wasn't fully there because of the whole coaching carousel going on in the offseason. But clearly the man's locked into Arizona, and I think this team is just too dang good. So I'm on Arizona on the money line plus 105. But again, either team could win this. It's going to be a toss-up.
So if someone's sitting there pre-flop, a bit hesitant on which team to choose, like you said, essentially a coin flip, and the number reflects that. If they want to wait for an in-game approach, now both teams, I'm sure, are capable of coming from behind, depending on how deep that hole is that they can overcome and still win this game and find value from an in-game perspective. But do you tend to think you would lean more toward it being one team versus the other? Meaning, like, if it's in the first 5 minutes and Michigan's trailing, that's the time to go do it. But if they're trailing in the second half, maybe you stay away, and vice versa with Arizona. Like, what would maybe be an in-game strategy that you would suggest to somebody who's not quite confident enough to invest pre-flop?
Yeah, I would probably look to get something in before probably the under 8 timeout in the first half. I think that way, it's still early enough that you could get a good number. You wouldn't, be trying to dig yourself out of a hole if Arizona or Michigan does go up 10 points, 8 points, whatever it may be early on. So I'd probably look to get something closer in the first half or in the first 12 10 minutes of that game or so. Second half, maybe not so much. At that point, the game might have already decided itself. You're working with less time to make that comeback and dig yourself out of a hole. So I would look to do so early. Again, both teams phenomenal. I think catching, 2 possessions maybe with either team, if it would get up to a big number, you catch Arizona +6, you catch Michigan +6. I think that'd be a good number to grab on early on. But yeah, in the second half, I probably wouldn't look for any live betting opportunities. I would, at that point, just let the game play out.
All right. Good deal. Well, hey, I'm glad that I got you on both of my teams that I'm rooting for here.
Yeah,
Even though
right.
it seems like you're going to be making out good regardless. It's good to know that deep down you'll slightly be rooting a little bit more for the Arizona and then absolutely the Illinois side for the Final Four tomorrow. And again, I'm sure Shags will have even more thoughts on tomorrow morning's program, getting you ready for the Final Four and much more basketball festivities, which we'll keep it in the arena of right now as we talk a little bit of hoops professionally. We got a big NBA slate tonight, so we might as well just rifle off some. I know you said you had maybe a dangerous amount. That's what I tend to say as well. And props wise, I think I got 4 props that I have tonight. But yeah, only dabbling in the prop region. Are you doing anything with props, or are you just flirting with some sides and totals this evening?
No, just sides and totals with me. If you've been tuning into the morning spread, I'm very transparent about my process. All I do, I go to a nice website, look at the trends for these teams against the spread or on the total, and kind of stick with that. So very elementary capping. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or come up with my own little system, but trying to find some value there. But yeah, just sides and totals for me.
Yeah, it's no Kaufman Friday system, nothing like that.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's start it off here. I'll just rifle through the games. If you have anything, let me know.
Cool.
And if not, we'll just peruse through here. But the
Sounds
Hornets
good.
and Pacers kicking things off. We've got that going in about at 6 p.m. I don't know if that's Eastern or if that's my time. I did not adjust.
That
No,
should
it's
be Central, I
Eastern.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, 6
Yep.
Central. Massive favorites are the Charlotte Hornets, anywhere from 15.5 to 16 points. No shocker against the lowly Indiana Pacers. I've got nothing in this spot, Shags. Anything interest you with the massive spread?
Yeah, we looked at the Hornets a little bit, minus the 15.5, not very appealing, but Charlotte is the best team against the spread in the NBA this season. You look at Indiana, they're down just 36-40, about 47% covered spreads this year. So not very appealing. It looks like it's the Hornets, if anything, for me. I know Austin on the morning spread earlier suggested maybe the first half, maybe Hornets just minus the 9.5 in the first half, start out hot. Because they are coming off a back-to-back, I believe. Just won yesterday against the Phoenix Suns. Still at home, didn't have to deal with any travel. Now they got the Pacers coming to town, who just aren't really a good team, but have won 2 straight. So this seems like a spot where the Hornets are able to flex their muscle a little bit and get this win. I will probably just go with the first half, if anything, minus the 9.5 with Charlotte in this game.
All right, let's move on to another matchup with the Sixers and the Timberwolves. Now, news just coming out, Anthony Edwards is available to play Friday.
Okay.
Joel Embiid remains probable. Jaden McDaniels will be out for this game, if I'm not mistaken. And we see the Sixers as a slight favorite here. About 3.5 points is what they're laying. I've got a prop in this one. I'll just rifle off really quick. I took Kelly Oubre Jr. over 3.5 boards, minus $132. He's played in 18 games since the beginning of February. He's averaging over 5 rebounds in that span. He's even gotten double-digit boards twice in the last 4 games he's played. This should be a close game, as indicated by the spread. More of a defensive effort, contested shots, more missed shots in general. So more rebounding opportunities for Kelly Oubre at a low number of 3.5. I don't mind laying minus 132 here for Oubre to get 4+. I like this look a lot, and that's a lone play I've got in this game. Anything stand out to you?
No, nothing for me. We were just wondering what the Ant news was going to be, so staying off this one completely. But hey, you're speaking to the crowd, pitching me a Jayhawk, so I could get behind Kelly Oubre's boards. That's for sure.
There we go, baby. I like it. Yeah, make sure you shop around, folks, because some books, even at the 3.5, it's obviously very juicy. It's one of the more prominent books, so you should be able to find it if you want to go searching. But that's the one I like. Austin sweating out Ant over 31.5 PR. Paul George over. Yeah, I like the Paul George angle, 9.5 rebounds and assists. He's been kind of racking it up with those RA numbers. Ant scares me a little bit, Austin. I want to get a more consistent sample size out of him before I'm taking his overs, but certainly easier, it feels like, always, to bet his overs than unders. Got nothing with Grimes, Jerry, but okay, looking at his points. Yeah, otherwise it's just going to be Oubre and the rebounds for me right now. But that'll be a good game to watch unfold. Again, that one also at 7 p.m. Eastern time. At 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, perhaps another game that's not going to be catching a ton of eyeballs here, but the Atlanta Hawks Jags, they're laying upwards of 17.5 points against the lowly Brooklyn Nets. I teetered with a couple of bets for this one, Dyson Daniels assists, some other random ones, Kuminga rebounds. Didn't end up pulling the trigger because of how big this spread is. Those would still be the top 2 on my list, but otherwise I didn't end up with anything here. Yourself?
Yeah, no, nothing from me. I think we looked kind of at the Hawks, but man, that's quite the meaty spread at 17.5, up a couple of points from the 15.5 opener as well. So probably holding off this one as well.
All right, Knicks and Bulls. I wish I was excited about this one, but I'm never excited about Bulls games anymore. Chicago catching about 14.5 points at Madison Square Garden against Brunson and company. Yeah, I mean, look, it's just so frustrating because this should be a spot where the Knicks absolutely roll, but in Bulls fashion, they could easily keep this one close down to the wire and just screw up everybody's bet. So for those reasons, I'm out. I've got nothing here. Unless you want to convince me otherwise. But nothing I want to touch with a 10-foot pole involving this Bulls game right now.
Fair. Well, the one play I had written down actually was the over in this game, over 237.5. Chicago, neither team is, a real overs or a real unders team, but you look at the Bulls away from home, actually 22-15 to the over this season. Second best team on the road towards the over in the NBA, hitting about 60%. So it enticed me a little bit. I did have a star next to that one, but have not quite pulled the trigger yet. New York 17-16 as a home favorite to the over. A little bit of moving the needle there, but yeah, over or nothing from me in this contest.
I actually don't hate that approach as bad as I talk about this Bulls team. I mean, the over makes sense.
Okay,
Give me some sloppy defense out of Chicago and the Knicks maybe being a
right.
bit complacent and overlooking them. So that'll allow the Bulls to score enough to get this over the total. So I do kind of like that approach. Giddy in the Garden, Giddy RA. Yeah, what's he at? Like 17.5 for his RA. And you're
That's what
still
SPJ
laying
was
a bit
talking
of
about
chalk.
earlier. He
I'm sorry.
said it was Giddy to the moon today. SPJ, he was liking Giddy. He loved.
Ah,
I think it was the RA actually that he was talking to me about on the morning spread earlier. So Giddy in the Garden could be the move.
I can't get there with the number at 17.5. It's just
Okay,
too steep, but
fair.
I'm not gonna knock anybody off, to the moon bets here, but
Of course. I'm seeing
yeah,
he's still a game time decision. Is that accurate? Is there a chance he doesn't play?
yeah, I don't know with Giddy. Let me pull up something really quick too, just to see how.
Hmm.
Yeah, I still see that as well. So yeah, I mean, obviously the assumption is he's gonna play. I mean,
Right.
let's see. He's coming off 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 13 rebounds. Yeah, I mean, he's been cruising over this, but it's been a long road trip here. You have had multiple days off in between since he's played. It's been since Monday. So I get everybody jumping in it, but it's like when you jump in on that late, I don't know. That always scares me a little bit, Shags.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I do have one under actually. We will be coming up to that shortly. So I got one under for you. Let's see. Okay, I guess we could skip along to it right now because it's not too far
Yeah, go
ahead.
for it.
So
Get to
I'll
it.
skip over to this game. We'll come back to some of the other ones because I'm sure you got thoughts on them, as do I. But the one under that I have, Shags, is in the Magic and Mavericks game. I'm taking
Okay.
the under on Paolo Banchero assists, 5.5 under that at minus a buck 25. Now the Magic about 6.5 point favorites tonight against Dallas. Banchero's been consistent with his facilitating. I mean, he's averaging 5 assists per game this season, and since the start of March, it really hasn't wavered. So he's been very steady around that mark. And against a Mavericks defense that's very bottom tier, I mean, he should be able to isolate his own offensive opportunities along with his teammates. So I don't think there's going to be a need for as much typical facilitating, pick and pop, all of those things that you would normally see in perhaps a more competitive environment against a more formidable defense. So it's been a mark that he's been comfortably staying under, and I'll bank it once again under 5.5 assists for Paulo minus a buck 25. Austin, yes, I'm not a big fan of the Magic, so I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas does keep it close. That is the one thing that does scare me a little bit with betting this under because they'll
Mhm.
probably be in this game, but I'm still going to trust the plums here and be fading Paulo with his assist, Shags.
Hey, that's what you got to do, man. Trust the plums from time to time. I'll be trusting chat. I'll be trusting my NBA quant right here. Dallas plus the 6.5 is going to be a play for me. I will admit the trend's not very trendy in that direction. Looking at both these teams against the spread, but again, I'm going to trust people smarter than me. Capping the NBA every day. Chat was all over the Mavs plus the 6.5, so I will be as well. We even had some Mavs outright
Oh,
comments as well earlier today. So I'll get on that. Mavs plus the 6.5 for me.
all right. What do you got, Biz? Your pick of the day, Daniel Gafford over 19.5 points in
He threw that
rebounds.
one out
Do you want to
earlier
come up
too.
and pitch that really quick, brother? You want to
Yeah,
sell that
why
one?
not? Why not? You
Let's
know what?
go.
That's
Why
what
is it
we're here
Gafford?
for. It's Gafford because in his past 10 games, he has hit this 8 out of 10 times. And in his 2 games that he's had, the light goes out as I'm giving my pitch.
Oh,
Come on.
brutal.
In his past 2 games head to head with the Magic, he has hit 26 and 25 points plus rebounds in both games. I think that this has just been my wagon for as long as this NBA season I can remember. It's been treating me nice. Looks great head to head. Looks great in the last 10. Why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah, Biz is going to need Gafford to come through so he can keep his electricity on. So this is a
Real
must
talk.
hit for Daniel
Real
Gafford.
talk. Oh. See, I was looking at
Sandro?
Sandro.
I was looking at Sandro points as well at like 10.5.
Point-
I did not hate that.
Points looks enticing. Threes. doesn't look good head to head, but he's hit that in the past 6 straight games. It's coin toss for me, but I like Gafford. That's my pick of the day.
Okay.
You can get it for plus 110 on a certain book that is blue.
There we go.
If you want to, but that's what I got, boys.
Okay. All
Love
right,
it.
noted. Big night for Gafford potentially. We'll see.
Let's do
Otherwise,
it.
no electricity for our producer, which isn't going to be good for anybody here at the network. But Gafford over 19.5 points and rebounds from A Bisney. His pick of the day. Let's move along to Memphis. The Grizzlies catching 14 points against the Toronto Raptors. Shags, I've got nothing here. Anything interest you?
Nope, nothing interests me. Chad actually told me to just not even look at this game. Real stinky. So yeah, I didn't even really dive into this one. But if you're in the Memphis area, $8 tickets to this game. So you could see a real cheap NBA game tonight if you're in Memphis.
There you go. Yeah, Alex, I looked at that. 8.5 is
Scotty
just steep.
Barnes?
It is steep, but I get it. I'm not gonna convince anyone off it, but I couldn't do it. Yeah,
That's
that LeBron take, that was funny. Did you see that, Shags, what he was saying about Memphis?
Oh yes, I did. Yes. I mean, is he wrong? Like,
No,
come
I
on,
mean,
man. Just move over to Nashville already. That might just be the quote.
that
Of
was
the,
like,
quote of
I
the...
haven't watched the full episode of him being on with those guys, but it seemed like as much crap as I give LeBron and a lot of people do, this seemed like the most relatable he's ever been because he's clearly not a good golfer and stuff like that. As I'm saying, he's like, I wake up and I'm doubtful every morning. It's like, all right, yeah, like now you seem like a normal person. You're not trying to force your personality on people. Like, I think this was a good thing for him.
No, I love that, especially because LeBron may be a little over performative at times in front
Right.
of the cameras because, he knows he's got the media all over him all the time. But, get him on the golf course with a bunch of regular dudes and personality really comes out. So, yeah, that was cool to see. I actually did watch the full episode of that. Yeah, it was some entertaining stuff. Definitely made me like LeBron a little bit more. That's for sure.
Yeah, I gotta make a viewing appointment for that. Should be good. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
Beat likes it
100%.
too. So yeah, getting a lot of traction on social media. We'll have to check that out, no question. What I won't be checking out tonight, and I can't say the same for the people on the show after us, is this Boston Celtics Milwaukee Bucks game because the Boston Celtics are 17.5-point favorite, Shags. And I've got no action in this, and I'm sure V Sook, they probably don't have any either. So you won't have to worry about that one. Did anything catch your attention, though, up in Milwaukee, not too far from my stomping grounds here in Chicago as the Celtics come to town?
Yeah, I wrote down the Celtics first half minus the 10.5. I don't think I'm going to take it. I think I will just hold off because we don't need to give those Boston boys any extra ammo. So just staying off of this one. But I did lean with Boston minus the 10.5 in the first half.
Okay. It's B Dot. B Dot's gonna be sticking around for the All Sox team, I'm sure.
Right. And also, I mean, just quite the spread, the 17.5-point spread with the lowest total on the board too at 217.5. Just I didn't need to get involved there.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And I'm sure a lot of people would say the same for the Houston Rockets and Jazz matchup. 18.5 points is what Houston is laying. However, Shags, I do have a play in this game. I'm taking Jabari Smith over 15.5 points. Alex, is that a good slap of approval? I hope you're on the same side here, brother.
I see every time one of you guys pitches Jabari for me, and it looks so good. Every time I bet on it, it never hits.
All right, don't touch it.
Yeah,
keep your paws off. He's all mine. Jabari Smith over 15.5 points. He just scored 31 against Utah. Not just, but the last time they played in February. He's averaging 16 points per game from March up to the first game in April. But you look at Smith's shot selection, Shags. I mean, 47% come from beyond the arc. Utah's 29th in three-point shot rate allowed and 25th in three-point field goal percentage allowed. Now, also 33% of his looks are coming from mid-range. Utah is dead last in opponent field goal percentage given up from that territory. you're obviously fearful that he may not get enough playing time, but he may get just enough to get over this hump in a game where you don't need the other guy scoring. This could be Smith's time to shine. The profile sets up beautifully. He dominated them the last time they met. And I think hopefully he could just be padding his stats a little bit. So give me over 15.5 with Jabari Smith tonight.
Let's go. Do you have any thoughts on the total in this game?
What are we seeing it at? I haven't looked at it too much. 233.5.
233.5. Yes.
Here's the thing. This Houston team, to me, is very unreliable in terms of sides or totals. That's anecdotally speaking a little bit from the second half of the season or post All-Star break. But it would be like a scenario to where you would imagine Houston should blow this team out, thus helping this total get over. But I could also see them playing really sloppy out of the gates. That's just an anecdotal viewpoint of it. But it would be hard in these huge spread games with Utah team that's still going to let it fly to bet the under. That's how I would kind of initially approach it.
Okay, well, that's some good insight to me because I actually had written down the Jazz team total under 107.5. I believe it was Jerry talking with me on the morning spread just about Houston's defense kind of locking in these last few games. They have held a couple of teams under 100 in their last 8 games or so. So, maybe just with the Jazz tanking, maybe their offense isn't able to get the job done today. But under 107.5 for the Jazz team total might be finding its way to my card.
Okay. All right. Hey, I mean, look, this Houston defense, we know what they're capable of. Certainly their season-long numbers are still strong, so hopefully they can live up to that. I dig it. So, yeah, 233.5 full game total. Jazz 107.5. Shags leaning toward the under.
Yeah, it looks like it's down to 106.5, so I might have to get on that right now if I do want to.
Okay. Well, I've got one more play, and we've got one more game. The Pelicans and the Kings, my friend. Now, again, not the sexiest matchup on the board. There's no denying that, but kind of a closer spread here than you would expect. 5.5, even up to 6 in some books. Pelicans laying it. All I've got is Saddiq Bey over 5.5 rebounds. Little bit of plus money available. Make sure you shop around. Got plus 110 for Bey over 5.5 boards. I've been dreading saying this because I know Alex is what he's had 6 and he's had 7 the last 2 games. So he's been grabbing more boards lately here. Alex and I had, here we go. Keep yourself down there. Don't touch Jabari Smith. Over 5.5 rebounds. His rebounding averages did dip a little bit this past month, but throughout the year, he was getting 6 pretty consistently. Kings are a mess. There's going to be a lot of missed shots from their side. They're 25th in rebound percentage. I've liked looking at Bey's rebounding opportunities over the past month and a half, even though it's declined because we've been getting a better number. And I still think this is one of those opportunities and maybe one of the last times if he continues to trend in that 6 to 7 range. Yes, I said it again. But even if you have to lay closer to, like minus $1.05, I still think Bey over 5.5 boards is a good look.
I like it. I'm actually booking the Pelicans as we speak right now, minus the 5.5. I did like them earlier. It's up to 6.5, up to 6. So moving, I did lock in the minus 5.5 for $1.15 right now. Pelicans, despite being 25-52 overall this season, they're actually the 5th best team in the NBA against the spread, 43-33-1. That's well over 56.5%. So, and you're facing the Sacramento Kings team that's bottom of the barrel in terms of covering the spreads, just 32-45. So I will be on the Pelicans minus the 5.5 as a road favorite today. Come on, New Orleans.
I like that, dude. Yeah, this Pelicans team, I mean, they're playing a bit inspired. They have some playmakers there. It's just a matter if they're all on the floor, and if they are, it can absolutely hang. And looks like you got Austin support too. And heck, maybe I might have to trail you guys on this one.
No, those are my NBA quants, man. They come into the morning spread, they help me out. I give the simple, again, very elementary, here's kind of what I'm seeing, and then I let the experts handle it. And yeah, they like the Pelicans minus the numbers, so we're riding with them. Let's do it.
Okay. Good deal. Anything else you got NBA wise? Anything you need to just get off your chest, whether it's MVP debate, anything hoops wise in general? We had a healthy MVP conversation on any given wager. So unless you want to
Oh,
add to
did you?
that, we can talk a little baseball, but feel free to dish any grievances out before we move on.
No, I'm not tapped in enough to give any confident opinions on the MVP, but what's the latest Rookie of the Year status? Is it just going to be Cooper Flag, or has Con Knipple done enough to put his name in the hat for that award?
Ooh, let me pull up the odds. That's the one I honestly have not been following along too closely, but
Okay.
Knipple looks like he's still a massive favorite, minus
Is he? Okay.
2,000. Flag is
Wow.
10-1.
Okay. All right. So it's flipped then since the last time I saw.
Yeah,
People
I'm
are
just looking at
all
one
over
book,
Con
by the
Knipple.
way, but
Mhm.
you said they're on the second leg of a back-to-back, right? So did Khan maybe have a really good game last night? Is that perhaps what
He
happened?
might have. Let me pull up the Hornets. What they do? They won last night against the
Yeah, he had
Suns.
20
Got the job
points,
done.
50% from the floor. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good game from Knipple.
Not to toot my own horn, give myself flowers, but I remember talking with the All Sauce team probably about a year ago, right before the NBA draft, saying like, "Hey, everyone's all over Cooper Flag, and rightfully so. He's a generational talent, but this guy Con Knipple, he's pro ready, and he's clearly playing that way in his first season in the NBA. So I love watching these guys, have some success in college, maybe not get all the flowers, all the praise they deserve, but the guy's clearly stepping up to the plate in the professional league. So good for Con Knipple. I will always be a fan of that man.
Yeah, again, minus 2,000 now after a really
Yeah,
good
it's
effort last
absurd.
night. Man, I wish someone had or like was able to sell me on Cooper because I would love to take a 10-1 right now and sweat that out, especially after my
Right.
MVP tickets essentially feel dead on Wemby and Luca. But I don't know if there is a compelling case to be had. Again, I haven't dug deep enough in it, but if anybody in chat says it's worth investing in Cooper Flag, be my guest. I will gladly throw a few shekels there at Cooper and hopefully sweat him out. But you kind of bring up a good point. Like I feel like
Mhm.
a lot of times with these favorites for the rookie of the year, we either see them get a little banged up or because the expectations are set so high, they fall short of it. And we see this
Mhm.
award sometimes go to the second or third guy, or even maybe a little bit deeper down the mix. Cause you got to take into account who's really going to see a lot of the playing time and also be on a competent enough team to then
Right.
aid alongside that. Like the Mavericks are a shit show. The Hornets already had some established pieces. So in that immediate first year, you're going to get a better play all around from surrounding cast of Concanipple than you are with Cooper Flag. And obviously Flag dealt with the injury, but
Mhm.
still, yeah, something to keep in mind going forward because I mean, great call out by you with Knipple being NBA ready. And I wonder what his odds were going into the season, but
Right.
great shout out regardless.
Exactly. Oh
Uh,
man, I just, he's a big body, obviously, a bigger guard. It's not like he's undersized in the NBA, and the man can shoot. He knows his role too. That was the biggest thing I noticed at Duke
mm,
is, you're living in the shadow of Cooper Flag. Obviously, that's the guy everybody's paying attention to. All you can do is just do your thing, play your game, and that's exactly what he did all season long at Duke. And now he's stepping up and getting the job done in the pros. So good to see it. Shout out Con Knipple.
All right, well, that's going to be a recap for some of our NBA action. I'll just briefly rifle off what I have as I naturally close my window right before. But the one play that I did have from that last game, we are rolling with Sadiq Bey over 5.5 rebounds, Jabari Smith over 15.5 points, Paulo Banquero for our lone under of the night at 5.5 assists toward the under minus a buck 25 is what I'm laying. And then Kelly Oubre Jr. snagged him over 3.5 rebounds at minus a buck 32. Shags, are we making anything official for you association wise?
We are. Yes, I got 3 plays I've locked in right now. I am going with that Bulls Knicks over. Got 236.5 minus 115 for that over. We did get the Jazz team total under 107.5, paid minus 114 for it, but we're going with the Jazz team total under, and then the Pelicans minus the 5.5 late night out in Sacramento. Those are the 3 I'm rolling with on the NBA tonight.
Beautiful. And if you want to follow our producer, Alex, a business play of the day, he's going with Gafford over 19.5 points and rebounds. We got about 10 minutes to go here, Shags. I'm going to briefly just rifle off some baseball action. But, folks, if you want more in-depth analysis on it, check it out at bettingnews.com. We already cashed in with the Red Sox money line minus $1.20. I've got two more plays for tonight, one of them being the A's. I always want to say Oakland A's, but now I got to pause myself. The A's, the Athletics on the money line, minus $1.04. They're taking on the red hot Houston Astros, but I'm hoping that momentum with the day off in between is halted a bit for Houston going into a new series. And you're going to Sacramento at the minor league ballpark where anything is possible from an offensive standpoint, especially for a Athletics team that has a ton of power, and they're going up against Christian Javier, whose numbers the last 2 years will tell you that he's very prone to just getting beat to crap. And we saw that happen in his debut, giving up 6 runs on as many hits, 4 walks, only 1 strikeout. His FIP came out to 12.15 in that first matchup for Javier this season. And again, in years past, 4.62 ERA, almost a 5 xFIP. His ground ball rate's below 30%, left on base percentage below 60%. Just atrocious numbers from him. And against an eager, young, hungry, powerful A's lineup, if you're giving me the better price with them, I'll gladly take that. And they have Springs do the A's taking the bump. His numbers aren't that great, but you have to take into account that a lot of those games last year, Shags, were coming at that minor league stadium. So all things considered, with a 4.11 ERA, just a 12% home run to fly ball rate, not too shabby for Springs with having to play some of those games there last year. So a bit more familiarity there. I think the edge resides with the Athletics if you're getting a better price than you are with the Astros, which I did earlier at minus 104. The other game that I got, I'm taking the over between the Braves and the Diamondbacks. I mean, my goodness, I got pummeled betting the Diamondbacks last night. I kind of went against what I normally would, which is, the Diamondback. And it's funny, like Adam Kaufman is doing this trend of, betting streaks. And I'm someone who almost does the opposite of that, actually. And I leaned into it yesterday, riding that momentous wave that the Diamondbacks had after just sweeping the Tigers. And they lost 17-3, 19-3, something like that last night. Just disgusting loss. But I'm hoping we still get plenty of runs because I'm taking over 9 at minus 110. The Diamondbacks should get some offense going against Grant Holmes, who has not fared well against them. He started against them twice last year, gave up 9 runs in as many innings, has a 6.08 ERA against them in 4 career appearances. Now, on the other side, you have Eduardo Rodriguez, who had a really good start against the Dodgers. The southpaw only allowed 1 run, but it wasn't even earned. He's going to regress a bit. The past couple of years, his ERA has been over 5. His FIP's over 450. He's got almost a 15% home run to fly ball rate. Batting average of balls in play well over 300. You want under 300 to be above league average. And I just think the D-backs respond enough to help contribute to this total getting over 9. And then on the side with Atlanta, you just have an offense that's clicking right now. And it's still very early, but it seems like a little bit slow out of the gates, but now they're really feeling themselves. They obviously just beat the brakes off of them yesterday. Yeah, by more than 2 touchdowns, as Twansky times back said. And or did I, two in ski time? Yeah, well, however you pronounce your name, like you said, more than 2
Twansky, my man Twansky.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the offense persists here. We get over 9. I think it should be more about 9.5 with some slight juice to the over. So I like that flat 9 at minus $1.10 to cap off my action for Friday night. Again, Shags, I know you haven't really gotten to baseball yet, but are we blindly jumping in to Friday night for the Royals?
Hey, we might have to. All right. There might be some weather issues in Kansas City. I will say, I think we're expecting some storms probably right about when first pitch is scheduled at 6:40 Central. So we'll see if this game even gets played. But hey, I probably should hop on the old Friday night trend. First one of the year, Friday night at the K. You know what? Why not? Let's get involved on the Royals a little bit. Seeing their money line about minus 102. So maybe do some shopping and find some plus money there. But yeah, why not? We'll get on the Royals tonight. We'll see if it works out. And hey, I love that you're betting on the unaffiliated Athletics of Sacramento, man. They need some love. All right. They don't have a permanent home right now.
Right.
So hey, back in the A's is a good with me. But yeah, Royals, I'm seeing Let's see. Even money. Even money looks like the best number for the Royals. So yeah, add that to my card. I'll go lock that in. Actually, 106 plus 106 right now on the old Bet Online that I will definitely be snagging there. So go Royals on the money line. Get the job done on Friday night.
I wish I could give you some support there, and I do just in terms of being a biased fan, but I have no idea who your pitcher is. Luinder Avila?
Yep. Nope.
Avila?
Me
What
neither.
Time for a good debut. Come on, baby. Live up to the
Exactly,
trend.
right?
I was like, can I get him any healthier? I was like, I don't know anything about this guy. So.
He pitched in 13 games last season, a 1-1 record, just a 1.29 ERA in 14 innings pitched. So clearly a bullpen guy. We'll see how long he lasts tonight at home against the Brewers. But I'm on board. Royals money line plus 106 for the vibes.
There we go, baby. Shags, tomorrow, obviously, this is like another holiday for you, being a diehard college basketball fan. What are your plans for the Final Four? Do you keep it low key? Do you get together with friends, family? What's on the agenda?
Oh man, my friends, they know me, so they know they're probably not going to get me out to a bar to watch. When I'm watching college basketball, and especially games that, I want to be locked into the screen all for the entire 40 minutes of the game, I'm going to be in my own basement watching the TV. My friends are welcome to come over and join me. I might have a couple come over, but no, I will definitely be in the comfort of my own home watching these two games. Probably, send the wife upstairs. She doesn't need to be down there with me yelling expletives at the TV. So we'll have some fun, but I'm definitely a homebody. I will be in my own home. That's for sure.
Shags, I am like 99% of the time a pro stay home if it's I'm going to take this to an example with like a team you're rooting for. Now, we have a tradition among our friends where that first Saturday we've been going to the same bar. We don't reserve, but we get there early enough in the day, literally from like 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. And we're watching all the games on that opening Saturday, the round of 32. And it's great. Awesome tradition. Love it. Outside of that, get me out of the bar because I got screwed twice. I got screwed watching Nebraska on that day with Vanderbilt. No audio. I was able to watch it, but it was a later game, so everybody's already just a nightmare, hammered, and like most people were cheering for the Fighting Illini, which fair enough, of course. But the Nebraska game was so much more fun to watch. And then I went out with all my Iowa friends and I tried to get them to switch the freaking audio at a sports bar.
Oh, no.
And it was halftime of the Purdue game. And I was going to go back to the suburbs and watch with some other friends who actually went to Nebraska with me. And it would have been easier and all this, but I decided to stay and get tormented. And they couldn't turn the audio. They're like, yeah, but if we switch one, it switches it all. And I'm like, no, I get that. But the other game's literally not happening right now. It's halftime.
Yeah, that's the point, man.
And then I went to the other bar and she's like, I can't do this. My manager's kicking somebody out right now. I can't handle this. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. And then naturally my team lose, and all that. So my point is, you're making the right move. I got screwed on 2 Nebraska games where I couldn't even hear the audio. It was Kevin Harlan on the last call, and I love listening to him. Just brutal.
And I mean, I cannot handle watching Jayhawk games in public because there are, and I probably couldn't do the same thing with like Chiefs games either, but like there are so many fans out there that think they understand the X's and O's of basketball or football just because they watch a good team. And, it's really painful and just hurts my soul hearing some of the comments that they make throughout the game. And, I gotta bite my tongue not getting in an argument with them because they say some ridiculous stuff. Let me tell you. And, I'm happy that people are paying attention to the Jayhawks and the Chiefs, but we don't need any more on the bandwagon. All right. If you weren't there when we were going 2-14 with Tyler Palko as our quarterback, we don't want you now.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, Austin's saying in the chat that Luka is out for the rest of the regular season. Just the regular season.
That's what I was talking with SPJ on the morning spread earlier, and he was saying Luka got hurt. Apparently, went back into the game though later in the second half, but then clearly injured and out for the rest of the season. Only 5 games remaining. So hopefully he'll be back for the playoffs for the Lakers, but that could be some significant news going forward.
Yeah, Sham said out indefinitely due to the left hamstring injury. Missed the remainder of the regular season. Status is uncertain beyond that. So,
Hmm.
sheesh. Not ideal for the Lakers and for us NBA fans. I know the All Sauce team will have plenty to say about that as they are coming up next. But, Shags, it's been a pleasure as always, my man. Enjoy the festivities tonight and, of course, tomorrow with all the Final Four action. And best of luck, brother.
Absolutely, man. Hey, appreciate you. And you know, Stifler, Jeff, I just got to say, I mean, why would I shower if I'm staying in my own house? All right. No one else is going to smell me. My wife still loves me. Why would I shower? But I actually do need to go.
I get no parlato. Do you have a play you want to add to the parlay if the guys are building one after us?
Ooh, yeah, let's do the Bucks plus 17.5. I'm kidding. I'm not on that play. It's the Pelicans. Pelicans
We're doing
5.5.
that now. We're doing the
I didn't bet it.
Yeah.
I didn't bet it. I'm just saying. Don't shoot the messenger.
Give me Jabari Smith over 15.5 points, fellas, if you want to add him into the mix.
There we go.
So,
there we
yeah,
go. That's a good one.
big game. I got V's stamp of approval, it looks like. So those are our two plays we'll be adding for the All Sauce team. Again, you can follow Nate on Twitter at Shaggy_bets, myself at Danny Burke 5. Stick around for the All Sauce team. Sook's looking good down there, man. He's got a fresh cut and everything. He's feeling fine on this Friday, and hopefully they get you some winners along the way. But best of luck, folks. It's been fun hanging out with you. We'll talk to you again soon.
I just might wanna get into pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it so you look like some trouble. I just might wanna get into pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it so lines and tequila, can't forget the reefer. Always call my phone, but say nothing when I see ya. Lines and tequila, can't forget the reefer.
What's going on, everybody? Another hour right here on the Betting News Network. Hope you guys had a great time with Shaggy and DB for the last hour on BETSPRESSO. But as Austin just said, let's get saucy, baby. That's just Sook. That's V Sauce. My name's Sweatpin Jesus. Welcome to the All Sauce team. Saucy Fridays to send you off into the weekend. Let's get it out of the way, boys. Happy hour. Chin.
Cheers, boys.
Excited to have you guys with us. Thanks, for being here on the Betting News Network.
Come on now, Stifler.
It tastes better on a Friday, doesn't it?
Let's go. Oh, come on. Sook's looking fresh, man. So fresh and so clean.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know
Chop the hair.
it's
I
kind of
thought it was
nice,
time.
man. You know what I mean? A nice summertime fine type shit. You know what I mean? Well,
Ooh, all right. Alex Bowling is Mr. Bowling is dropping his PODs in our chat. I'd love to see that. I might also be on that as well, Mr. Bowling. Uh-oh. Rut-row. Excited to have you here. Thanks for stopping by for another hour right here on the network. Send you off into the weekend to talk all about beautiful NBA. Brought to you by our sponsors at Lucky Rebel and our data providers at our friends at Outlier. You guys can get a free 7-day trial with everything that we're going to show you guys on the board on this really, really weird, super weird NBA Friday, boys. Tasty slate in theory. Sook's dived in weirdly. A little bit.
Okay.
Flying by the seat of my pants today, boys.
How are the
I like that. I
earbuds?
think this is the perfect slate for it, son. Don't worry. This is the
They're
perfect.
falling out. They're falling out slowly.
Falling out slowly. Are you already in shambles? You said you made this decision for yourself, by the way.
Yeah, I made this decision for myself because I was already in shambles. But now Stifler commenting on the hair, Uncle Willie coming in with Sion. Oh man, the stress levels are high today, boys. Hopefully I can make somebody some coin.
This is what we call overstimulated Sook, and I love it. Yeah, it honestly brings me joy.
Overstimulated Sook. Well, let's overstimulate Sook some more, chat. Well, we've got a little bit of a icebreaker for you guys in honor of happy hour. So if you guys are out there in a place where you can enjoy a beverage with us, crack it open. Let's get after it. Our dog, Austin, sent us this in our DMs on Twitter today. So we're going to spend a little bit of time breaking this down. Chat, let us know. You can mute 3 mics forever. You can silence them. You can see the 9 names on the screen. V, this is right up your alley, so I'll let you go first. You guys can see the 9 names on the screen. A lot of these guys have been honorary members of Bozo of the Week for a long time, but who you silencing?
Right off the bat, it's got to go with the chalkiest of answers. Dave Portnoy and Jason Whitlock. You guys can both shut the fuck up, not just on sports, but just on everything you
Forever
ever
and
have
ever.
said anything about. Just both of you shut the fuck up. Next, gut said Skip. The gut really said Skip. But then I was reminded of this whole political wave that Stephen A. Smith has been on over the last few weeks. And that being said, I'd rather listen to Skip on fucking Gil's Arena than have to listen to Skip or Stephen A. Smith everywhere else. So
He doesn't
Stephen
talk a lot
Portnoy,
on Gil's Arena. AV, he kind of just sits there.
he kind of just sits there. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I'd rather that. He can have his mic. Stephen A. Smith, get the fuck out, man. I'm so tired of this. I'm honestly most tired of him as of late because the other two, they don't even show up on my timeline. But this guy somehow, some way, still fucking finds a way.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I feel like the only 3 solid answers, if we're really going like top to bottom, are Whitlock, Portnoy, and Stephen A. Those were my 3. Sook, do you have an alternative answer? I know how you feel about Whitlock. I'm sure you can agree with us on that one. Do you have an honorary mention?
I feel like Whitlock has to be included, but I don't. This is what is this? What's the wording here? Whitlock doesn't deserve to be on this list. He is not as large as the other guys. Yes, he is on the Blaze with a conservative platform, and he's always spewing a lot of like racial tension, nonsense, and bullshit, and talking about the fact that he used to lust after women, but now he's a godly man. So Whitlock doesn't deserve to be on this list because he doesn't have as large of a platform in the others, I would argue. Portnoy, my guy, shave. Now I know you're just doing it for the bit because you just posted the other day that the haters in the comments need to stop commenting on your beard. So yeah, so I think we can be unanimous here, and I'll leave Whitlock off my list because he doesn't deserve it. I'll go Perk, Portnoy, Bayless.
You're okay with Stephen A?
Yeah, Whitlock does not deserve a spot, but yeah.
I like that Stephen A gets on a mic every day and embarrasses himself. It's enjoyable to me. I don't rage at his content anymore. I watch the video and go, holy, how could somebody be so morally bankrupt to spend literal hours a day spewing nonsense they don't actually believe, but thinks will serve their ultimate agenda at the end of the day? So Stephen A, continue to be my NBA basketball Krusty the Clown. I like it.
Oh, Krusty the Clown. That's a good reference.
All right, if to flip this on its head before we move past this, are there 3 that you're actually okay with being on this list? And since I'm kind of venturing the question, I'll start it off. I'm okay with McAfee. Don't have a major issue with McAfee having a handle and having a place to say stuff. I know V, you're a Nick Wright like hater in a lot of particular situations, but I'm actually okay with Nick Wright. He can be okay with me. And I don't not a part of the I hate Chris Collinsworth bandwagon, so I'll stick with Collinsworth. Those 3 guys are okay for me on this list. Everybody else, yeah, to the sun. See you later.
I was gonna say Chris Collinsworth, I feel like gets a lot of hate just because of his Pat Mahomes love and his love for the Chiefs. You know what I mean? I think that's why people come at him a little bit more than most. But yeah, I'm good with Collinsworth. McAfee's solid too. I honestly, like, I might not like the things Nick Wright says, but I at least feel like he's a fan of basketball. When I hear him talk about it, I feel like he's a fan of the sport. He watches the sport and he tries to absorb as much as he possibly can. It's funny sometimes when he tries to talk about soccer and the World Cup coming up and things he might not have as tight a grasp on, but he tries to talk with the same kind of like intellect. But you know he likes ball. He likes ball.
The name of their show, V, escapes me. I can't remember, but I see clips every now and then of Nick Wright's show. They actually try to do bits. They try to do stuff. Yes, Nick Wright does become inflammatory, but we all become inflammatory. I mean, let's be honest now. It's been years. We all do the job as well, so we're inflammatory sometimes.
You see the one where both Broussard, I think, and I can't remember the third guy, but they come in on like a stretcher, and one guy's like wheeling him in.
Yeah.
Both their teams got eliminated from the NFL playoffs.
Who's one guy that you like on this list? I'll go quick. I love Pat. I know I don't consume College Game Day, so the things that are a detriment to his personality in being in the mainstream, I don't consume. I just consume clips, and I like his WWE stuff. I like that he's going to be in movies now. So I don't know. I think that there is one guy on this list that I like listening to, and that's definitely the guy on the bottom right.
I think Pat's fun. I didn't. So yeah, I agree with you, Sir. I think Pat's fun, and he's the one.
But we're not the target audience view, right? We're like the dummies that are watching it, like just clipped.
Well, I mean, but he does his show on ESPN and they talk like everything. And I mean, I don't tune into his show a lot, but like at least they try to, he does it in a way that's engaging. He does it in a way that feels like you're sitting around talking to your homies and talking sports, which is, you know, that's how you create good sports content in this particular space. But see, B-Dot, this is why we love you, man. That's why we love you. You can even handle these guys with their Celtics glaze and me with my glaze of random players rather than listen to those three guys, you know?
I will also say this. I think that Pat does a good job of bridging sometimes big gaps in big groups where like at a time there's so much division in places like that it's not a big deal. Like, you know what I mean? That might be the only common ground that two people have today. And I think that's a skill.
Also as well, just to shout out another member of our chat before we get into this, again, just diabolically gross slate tonight, but we will go game by game with you guys as we always do. We'll find some plays and give you the moves and show you the outlier plays of the day and everything like that. Shout out to our dog Proper Padge, who got engaged, and she said yes. He was a little nervous. The cheeks were clenched from what Padge told me, but the job got done. So well done, Padge. Big dubs. I know you've gotten shout out a lot on the channel, but we appreciate you tuning in, obviously, and congratulations on the next phase of your life. So shout out to Padge.
And goats, we're definitely building a community here while V keeps himself muted. So if you guys have any big news, any stuff, share it with us. I mean, anything happens to the three of us, we kind of spew about it here on a Friday or on a Wednesday or on a Sunday.
I mean, absolutely. That's fucking awesome, Pat. The size of that rock, too. I got to say, man, good job. Good job.
All right now. All right now.
Yeah, I got to love it. Love to see it. You love love. We love love here.
We love love. Padge, does your does your fiance now know that she's been on the channel multiple times? Is she okay with her face being as visible to the entire platform?
Maybe the picture of Padge should have been the one we shared too, like the smile on his face as she says yes.
It's the one he sent. I can't, you know.
No, we love you, Padge, and give her our love too, please.
In honor
love you, Proper Prendy. Yeah,
Proper Prendy, baby. Proper Prendy, you almost got Sook muted last night. So congratulations to Proper Prendy on what you had Mr. Brar doing last night as well. Yeah. All right, I'm going to bring up the standings in just a second in the NBA. We'll gab a little bit about the news as we just found out that Luka Doncic will be out for the rest of the regular season with that hamstring injury. We'll talk about a couple of things. But just since we're talking news and stuff like that, I talked about this last week, but just to let you guys know, personal life stuff for me. My grandmother, my 96-year-old grandmother, got put into hospice a week ago, and I have been every day basically going to see her. She is to the point now where she hasn't eaten in 3 days. She's basically at that point. So yeah, send some vibes to my family. Obviously, my mom and my aunt are dealing with a lot more stuff than me and my other cousins, but yeah, just love your loved ones. Make sure you hug them tight. You never know when that time comes. She's 96, so she's lived a long life, but it's been on my heart's been pretty heavy with that over the last week or so, trying to get all the work done, but also dealing with that. And obviously all of our stuff around here at Betting News with the community aspect that Sook talked about. We all have our personal lives outside of sports. And yeah, I've been dealing with that. So it's been thinking a lot about just, you know, life and what it means to have family and, you know, be close with people and connections and how quickly life goes, you know. So not to get too sappy with you guys, but make sure you enjoy your life, man. Enjoy the people you love, whether it's your friends, your family. Enjoy the things you do, because we're here for a good time, but we ain't here for that long of a time. So enjoy it all, and appreciate you guys so much, really, for tuning in to the content. It makes our days better. Every single day we get to tune in with you guys. I know you guys like hanging out with us on the channel, but we like getting on here and talking ball with you guys and sharing the love. So appreciate all you guys for making my day better today, this week, and all the time. And love you very much. So thank you.
I mean, I had a stat holiday in Canada, and I raced home to do this show because it's just so much fun, not just with you two, but just with everyone in chat.
Absolutely, boys. Salute to Grandma SPJ, and cheers to you, man.
My grandmother's name is Boosie, and ever since my friends when I was younger found out that I called her Boosie Badass. Chin chin to Boosie Badass.
Boosie Badass.
Let's go.
All right. We love it. Seriously, though, we appreciate you guys. Best community in the biz. We couldn't do this show without you. Couldn't do all of the shows on here on BNN without you guys. Yeah, we're going to talk ball, but at the end of the day, right here, it's all that matters. So,
Jack, don't tell anybody else on the network, but Fridays are our favorite days.
They're your favorite days too, I think, Chat, but it's okay. All right, let's talk ball, boys. Standings. Let's bring up the standings. We'll kind of honorarily, while we talk about both the Western and Eastern Conference standings as we're looking at them right now in the NBA, we'll talk a little bit about some of the news that happened over the last 24 hours. Here's the Western Conference standings. The top 5 spots are locked in, as the Rockets also got the job done last night with their dub there too. Yeah, send vibes to Slop as well. Indeed. Timberwolves still flirting with the play-in, as the Suns can still technically catch them. They'll be in action tonight. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. The Warriors, as V likes to call them, the Santa Clara Warriors, are still sitting at that 10 spot down there. Clippers got embarrassed last night against the Spurs, even without Wemby playing last night. Anything stand out to you boys about this? It's just good to mention the standings as we go into the last 5 or 6 games of the season.
Let's look. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, I bet the Warriors wished that the Grizzlies and Pelicans made some noise. They're just sitting there in 10th, and they're just going to get absolutely mollywopped in that first play-in game. There's no way that team wants to even make any sort of like combative contention in that game. So I feel bad for the Warriors. That's going to be a horrible locker room for the last like 10 days of the NBA season.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So just to put my tinfoil hat on, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I saw a clip going around of Bill Simmons. They lose this game, they have a 9.4 chance at a top 4 pick in the NBA draft. And maybe they don't get the number 1 overall pick, but if we're talking about franchises that need a little bit of reviving, getting the best out of the last couple of years of Steph Curry, all these kinds of things, does a top 3 pick not help that situation out a lot with some free agent space for, whoever knows is going to come, or a trade piece if you're looking at a big asset?
They gifted them Wiseman first overall already.
They did. I know, but they missed. And if you want the league to work, it's a big market, it's a big team in Steph's last few years, a top 4 pick, and you get to punish the teams that tanked. We all know it's rigged.
Oh, yeah.
I will also say on the Warriors front, there was news today that Steph Curry is ramping up his activities and looking like he's possible to return Sunday to Warriors action as we get closer to the beginning of the play-in tournament. So be on the lookout for news about Stephanie coming very soon. Yeah, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. All right, let's flip to the East. Here's your Eastern Conference standings. Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, Cavs all locked in at the 1 through 4 spot as we sit right now. Knicks and Cavs can still leapfrog each other. It's looking like the Pistons and the Celtics are pretty set, the 1-2 spot there. I guess the Knicks could still technically catch the Celtics, but we'll see. Play-in spots still available, though, for the bottom at 5 through 10. Hawks have been hot as hell. Sixers also have been very hot there, too. Raptors have been in a little bit of a free-fall mode here. What stands out to you guys in the conference that you pay attention to the most with the green glasses?
The 5, 6, 7 spot here. Just very, very minimal games separating these teams here. I think it's about a game and a half between the Hawks and the Sixers, maybe just a game. I think the Sixers do have a game in hand here. But just these standings right here, I really thought the Raptors would finish top 5. But now we're seeing the Hawks surging, the Raptors kind of faltering. The Sixers are getting better. Joel is playing high minutes in these games that he is active for. I think you kind of are exactly where you want to be, made the best of a situation that wasn't the best. But it's those spots right there that I think are going to be highly contentious. And even the Hornets, I wouldn't count the Hornets out of it either.
Yeah.
No, their second half record is completely different than their first.
Well, I just mean in 5-6, getting up into the 5-6 range. Yeah. Getting into the playoff for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these games the Hornets play tonight, big spread on that one as well. But I mean, them getting as many dubs as they can down the stretch. If the Hawks, if the Sixers drop some games, if the Raptors continue to free fall, God, the Magic have been just absolutely free falling as well. They did get Franz Wagner back, so he's back tonight. We'll talk about that game in a minute. I sent this tweet to you guys, and we don't have a lot of time to react to this, but there was some rumblings on the timeline. And again, this is all just he said, she said stuff, so who knows? But we talked about the Magic in a couple of different shows, boys, and the possibility of them moving on from Jamal Mosley in the offseason.
regardless of what happens in the playoff picture. Michael Malone was a name that's gotten thrown around as a possibility to replace Jamal Mosley to go and coach down in Orlando. Sook, since you're our resident, general manager around these parts, do you like the possibility of maybe a Michael Malone moving down to Florida, or do you think that they move on from Jamal Mosley in the offseason?
No strong feelings on whether you should move on from Mosley, because I've talked about how that front office has to kind of lay the blame. There's so many picks that they've made, kind of offensive guys, but they refuse to take anyone that can stretch the floor. My main thing probably with this team is the fact that the roster is constructed so poorly that if you fire Jamal Mosley, then you obviously need a guy that can get these guys to take a next step. The reason Malone was fired in Denver was because none of their draft picks have ever panned out and taken the next step. He was not developing Nikola Jokic. I don't care what anyone says. A world beater like Giannis, Jokic, guys that don't really do shit in their rookie years and then become superstars, you weren't developed by any one person. You arrived there on your own. Jamal Murray, yeah, he wasn't an all-star, but everyone forgets that John Calipari said he was one of the most talented offensive players he'd ever coached. He went 7th. So I don't think you fire Mosley and hire Malone and raise the ceiling of the Magic, because the roster construction is still poor, and Malone has proved he can execute intricate offenses, but he has not proved he can bring together a lot of pieces that are mismatched. And that's why after that the Nuggets won that chip, they didn't really get back to that level, because Malone didn't get the best of his sum of his parts, if that makes sense.
It does. And it's okay. Then my follow-up question is, obviously we don't even know who's going to be up for a head coaching candidacy. We don't even know if this one will be open. But is there somebody that maybe you have your eyes on in the wing somewhere, like a Jordan Ott type, somebody that has been kind of doing a little bit more behind the scenes than people know about, that might be in line?
Because I don't think that we're ever ahead of the curve that much, because the league is so complicated. Even with the Jordan Ott thing, it was like he was hired for Phoenix, and I was like, why did the Valley hire this guy? And then you go look, he survived 4 head coaches in Brooklyn, and then you go, why did that happen? And he goes, oh my god. And in Cleveland, he was the head of the offense, and they were doing this, they were doing that. And it's like, we're always playing catch up on our analysis. So I don't know who can be the head coach of one of these teams, but I just do think that a guy like Malone that has proved he kind of hinders player development, like Zeke Naji, they played him. He didn't do anything in 3 years with Karl Malone, and it's like they constantly wanted a backup for Jokic, and they ended up going and getting JV. So it's like, I assume that all the franchises play catch up like we do. They don't know what they're doing.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah.
Just one more point on the coaching possibility of what's going to happen, just because this popped into my head. You don't have to go deep dive into this. Do you think the Portland Trailblazers will rehire / extend / give a contract to Tiago Splitter and what he's been able to do up in Portland on such short notice with the Chauncey Billups situation, putting them into the point where now they're going to compete, be pesky Portland? I mean, hell, maybe they even make it into the big dance. Do you think, regardless of what happens in the playoff situation, do you think Tiago is going to be the head coach of the Blazers next year?
I think that Tiago ends up becoming the head coach, because you can sign him for so little that once you fire him and you have to pay out his contract, that'll be fine. Because at the end of the day, Tiago has kind of shown that he was ill-equipped, and right off the jump, they wanted to give the job to Nate Bjorken, who had done a lot of other things like with the Pacers before, and he didn't want the limelight. So he kind of said, hey, I'm good being the lead assistant. Find someone else. I don't want to step up into this. And this is just like my own personal opinion. Me, if I ask someone to do a job and one guy goes, I'm too scared to do it, and that might be a little too harsh, and then the other guy goes, my English isn't that good, but I spent a decade in the NBA, I'll see what I can do, I'll run this back. I'm impressed with what Tiago did, and if I was running the show, I'd be like, hey, you've done a lot for me in a pinch, so maybe I'll help you out a little bit, my guy. And last shout out on this, boys, I don't know if you guys saw me tweet this, but Paul Allen, rest in peace. There is an apartment in the Moda Center at the top.
Saw that.
What the hell? Guys, if you guys know any NBA secrets that are like very niche things, please DM them to me. These are the kind of things I want to know.
These are the types of things that Sook retweets slash sends to us. And now he's doing a better job of retweeting it for all of you guys instead of just sending it to us in the shadows, the Reddit deep dives that he finds. Yeah, I saw you tweet that, and that is incredible. Could you imagine having that apartment? Is that like your wet dream to have an apartment like that, like in the top of a facility
Oh, it is
like that?
the wettest of dreams. It's a slip and slide.
Slip and
So
slide.
didn't know that was a possible dream until he saw this. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Now
so
it's
I did
all
a
he's
deep
dreaming
dive
about.
on this stupid ass apartment. No one knows the actual layout of it. It's multiple windows deep. It's got a view on the outside of the arena. The best I could find was a drone video with glare trying to look into it. And yes, Ma, this is how I feel. Hey, Arnold, if you have seen this show, that is the greatest bedroom of all time.
Shout out, Hey Arnold. That's a deep cartoon
Deep
pull
cut.
right there.
Yeah.
Deep cut.
Mhm.
All right. Well, there you go. There's some news for you guys. There is a little bit of V, do you got any thoughts on Splitter in Portland? Do you think he's going to stick around? You agree with Sook, or do you think that they're going to go a different direction?
Initially, I thought maybe they go in a different direction, but after what Sook said, he makes a lot of sense. Like not
But
only are they winning games, but
V and SPJ, I need both your thoughts on this. I'll derail us for a second. Like, do you think that there's any worry that the team is still doing and accomplishing its goals of getting into the play-in? But do you think that there's any worry from management that there's no clear-cut guy? They've been doing very well with the veterans. Denny's been doing his contributions, but it's like Denny's usage rate was so high, but then he got hurt, came back, usage rate kind of settled. But like, if I'm management, let me explain this. This is a team that drafted Yang Hansen and then got fined for it. So then don't you think that they want a clear-cut superstar? And if you do think that, then I think you get a different coach.
Well,
I
you're
think-
getting Dame back next year. And you're getting Dame back. Shaden Sharp's missed a substantial period of time of down the stretch here too. And I know how high you are, and all of us really, about his ceiling on what he could be in the NBA. So I think if you get, because Dame still has superstar quality, even though he is older, whether he comes back and can play at that level consistently. But V brought to our attention how he and Giannis playing together was some of the most efficient 1-2 punch scoring in NBA history, with how good those guys were together. So I think they still have the pieces together, and I think it's a good point that you're going to get Splitter on a really cheap contract. These guys have already, it seems like, bought into what he's selling, which is all you need in locker room situations. Is just, do you believe in the roster, or do you believe in what your head coach is telling you? Are you bought into the culture? Have you bought into what we're doing? And this Portland team, it seems like they have. They've gone through also in various stretches where they've been missing their 1/2 options in Sharp and Advia. They didn't have Drew Holiday for a good portion of the season as well. So, I mean,
Scoot was 3rd overall. That's a guy that plays into your rotations heavily.
I think if you're Portland and you're getting caught up in things like that, you're not looking at the wider scope of things. You have a ton of talent that has been really accustomed to just losing games and not really playing for anything. Danny's coming from Washington. You have a guy in like Shaden Sharp who has really only played losing seasons for this Portland franchise so far. And now all of a sudden you're building something different. If you're going to start looking for like that one guy to build around rather than trying to build a culture, I think that's going to be a problem. And as somebody, who cheers for a team where everybody is always looking at who's the guy, whose team is this, I just think sometimes when you are blessed with an opportunity where there's a ton of talent all coming into their own at the exact same time, bought into a system, that's something that's special. It's not going to happen all the time, and it's not something that can be emulated by most teams. But if you can, I think guys like Denny, Scoot, everybody has their ego removed out of this situation, and I don't think anybody thinks that they should be the guy. Like
just speaking of like it gets messy, V, because it's like not even just the players, it's like the organization also wants it. Like Dennis Smith Jr., after Luka was drafted, he was like, yo, I'm 9th overall. I understand that like I play into this, but like he didn't communicate to the organization that he didn't think that he was the guy. So when things started to get contentious, they moved off him so fast. And very quickly, he was like, I feel like if I had gone and talked about the fact that, like, I know I'm 2nd in the pecking order, I would have stayed in Dallas a little longer. So it's like the politics and the business aspects of these things.
That's what I mean,
so
though.
crazy.
Like, put that aside and everybody, you know what I mean, accept your role with this team. And, like, Denny is the guy with the ball in his hands for a majority of these plays. And that's the guy you got to look to for most of these offensive possessions. Because even a guy like Klingen, he's coming to his own. He was the best offensive rebounder in the league this year. So
do you guys think they go somewhere else then?
No.
Than Splitter?
I do not.
You convinced me otherwise. I thought so, but you convinced me otherwise.
Because the fan base isn't mad if you fire a cheap coach.
Well, no, and I think that they can all also acknowledge the fact from just a fandom perspective. It's not like they fired Chauncey Billups and then Splitter came in and they absolutely had to tank away their season. Like they are now, 8th in the Western Conference, got a big win last night, even down the stretch against the Pels, and they're looking like they're going to flirt with having to win one basketball game to make it into the big dance. I mean, regardless of how you feel they do in that first round with the stacked Western Conference, all you can do is make the dance, baby. So you got a guy that came in with no NBA head coaching experience. Just, oh my God, this would be hilarious.
Who would have thought that Dame might be going to the playoffs and Giannis would be sitting at home come April? Crazy. Crazy world we live in. All right, let's jump into this slate, boys. We got 30 minutes until these first games tip off. We're not going to spend a lot of time on some of them because some of these games are gross work. I'll just read this off to you guys. I sent this to you guys a little bit earlier today. The average spread of 12.2 tonight in the NBA is the largest in at least 25 years in NBA history. So, excuse me, 35 years in NBA history. So we are seeing a bunch of double-digit spreads tonight, which makes sense. Last night we had 5-6 games, and all of them had playoff contentions on the line. All of these games were relatively watchable, except the Lakers and the Thunder. And we saw what all of those.
Watchable.
That's all you get on that. That's all you get. I'll just read this too because Adam talked about this earlier about the Luka stuff. So Luka Doncic obviously is going to be out for the rest of the regular season with the hamstring injury, meaning he has only played in 64 games. From his agent Bill Duffy, this just dropped on the timeline. Luka Doncic intends to apply for an extraordinary circumstances challenge to the 65-game rule per his agent. Now he can do that because he did miss 2 games in the regular season when his child was born. So not anything to do with any injuries or anything like that. It's more about the extraordinary circumstances around his family. So we'll see how that plays out.
I think also he qualifies for another exemption where he has played but I think 85% of the team's games up until the last 10. So because now we're in that window, I think because of that too, he also still qualifies for that. So like he might still make, but fuck the 65-game rule.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that. We've talked about that on the channel quite a bit. So yeah, that's rocking and rolling. All right, boys, let's dive in. Let's talk about the slate tonight. We'll go straight to our friends at outlier.bet, show you guys the moves as what they are seeing on the board here. Timberwolves taking on the 76ers, one of the closest spreads on the entire board tonight, lads. 3.5-point favorites are the 76ers. Sauceman, you talked about this a little bit earlier. Joel Embiid, probable in this game. He was questionable earlier. Now it's looking like Embiid's going to play in this spot here, as you guys can see on the screen. Paul George has been also really, really good since he's returned to substantial minutes back in the rotation. Ant-Man, also a go tonight. He was a question mark there as well, and looking like Anthony Edwards is going to play in this game too. This line was 2.5 earlier. It popped up to 3.5 with the Embiid and Edwards news. V, I'll let you go first. You like anything in probably the closest / most potentially important game for both of these teams tonight?
I do. And I'm going right to the Philadelphia Center. Joel Embiid over 27.5 points is the line that I got here. It's up to 28.5 now, maybe 29.5 or plus 120, but 28.5 you can still get in most places, 27.5 too for a little bit more juice. But Joel has been fantastic in the games that he's played. SPJ, if you could put up his last 20 games. In his last 20 games, he has cleared 30 minutes per game in every single one of those games. It was just the first 10 games this year where he was on a little bit of a very strict restriction. Since then, they have been managing his minutes by managing his games, not by how many minutes he's playing. He's played, like I said, over 30 minutes in all of these games. He's taken a ton of shots. He's shooting 51% from the field. And what's super interesting to me is over these last 20 games, his three-point shot has been following it close to a 40% rate. If you look at it right there, 43%. Not a ton of volume, but this is a Timberwolves team that we know gives up a ton of three to the center position, and it's because Rudy Gobert is going to be staying at home in the paint. Because of that, Joel's had some big games here. He had 51 in his last game, and in 5 of his last 8 games against Rudy Gobert, he's smashed this line. So I love the spot here. I think that they are putting everything they need to try to get out of that play-in spot and not have to play that extra game. Because with a guy like Joel, he already has so many limited games. You really can't play an extra 1, even 2 games, because if you lose that first one, then it's, you got one more game before you go right into a playoff series. So
the fact that V came in here and the first thing that came out of his mouth in the player's perspective is Joel Embiid points is
Yucky.
madness.
yeah, I know.
But it makes sense. I don't hate it. He has been, as you mentioned, very, very good down the stretch here when he has played substantial minutes for the Sixers, and is the reason why him and Paul George coming back is the reason why they're sitting in out of the play-in right now. Sook, I know you haven't had a chance to deep dive into the slate. Anything that you like in this game preliminarily before I talk about my play?
We can quickly go to your play. The only thing that I did have circled is that the Sixers are very good at covering the spread at home as favorites. So I do think that Minnesota kind of beat up here, and this is a messy game for props. So I do think that if I was going to bet anything, I'd just go Philly on the spread.
I don't hate that. Kind of ties in because I mean, the Edwards news obviously changes the math a little bit. Didn't play last night, probably because he was getting ready to suit up for this one. They almost ended up winning that game, but I like PG. I took his RA earlier today. I got 9.5. It's plus money now, so I got a little bit of a bad number in comparison because of the Joel news. But as you guys can see, hit this in 3 of his last 4 games. Was awesome scoring the ball last game, but Joel's back now, so we'll see how many shots he's going to end up taking. He had a really good game rebounding and facilitating against the Timberwolves when they played last year. 6 assists, 7 boards. He's going to play probably, as you can see here, he played 30 minutes and that was against the Wizards. They scored 150 points. So he's back to playing full minutes. As long as he plays 30 plus, I think this 9.5 line feels pretty comfortable. You can probably get a better line than I did. There might even be some 8.5s out there for some juice if you want to go that direction. But I like PG. I also really like your play on Embiid, Sauce Man. I think it's a good spot. And I think that the Sixers begrudgingly probably cover the spread here.
I think so too. Just to speak about that a little bit, like you said, so they're in a good spot here. I think right at home, you have Minnesota. This is the 3rd game of a little bit of a 3-game road trip. But right after this, they go home for a home game on Sunday, and then they have 3 more on the road. So 3 of their last 4 games before going into the postseason are going to be on the road, and not against easy opponents. You have the Magic and Houston to close out the season. This might be one where they let go because they have a little bit more space in the standings than a team like the Sixers do. The Sixers are very desperate to get a win tonight.
For the slate lay chat, we're going to skip the 2 7 Eastern 6 Central tips just so we don't run into backing up against those games for the slate lay, which is 2 of these games, the one we just talked about, and the next one that we're going to talk about as we will move to one of the bigger spreads on the day as well. Hornets at home taking on the Pacers, 15.5 point favorites, high total here, 234.5 points, mostly because of the Pacers playing style and how they like to run. Still no Andrew Nembhard, and there's a bunch of names on here that you guys have probably not heard of quite consistently in the NBA. Bunch of dudes starting for the Pacers. Siakam obviously is going to suit up tonight. We'll see how many minutes he ends up playing, but Sook, I'll let you go first. I know you didn't get to deep dive here unless you want to just pass it off. You got any thoughts on the Hornets tonight?
No, that's perfect. I do actually have a play in this one. I went with Kobe Brown over 18.5 PRA. He is a Swiss Army knife. And if you haven't been keeping up, the Pacers are expertly tanking. They are covering spreads, but they are losing games. And Kobe Brown is definitely part of that. As you see the 2 green ones there, he can get you boards. He can get you assists. He is kind of a do-it-all player. And Pascal Siakam is over 30. And this team is interested in competing next year. So Kobe Brown over 18.5 PRA, I think is a comfy spot, especially because he's been hot, and we have seen Rick Carlisle kind of ride the hot hands here.
Like this RA line too, sitting at a nice playable 8.5 for plus money there too. High total, he's going to play a lot of minutes like you mentioned. I'll get the chalk out of the way and I'll let V take us home. I did take Spicy P. He burned me last game, but he was awesome, so I'm going straight back to him. I got 30.5 at his PRA line, which you can still get at a playable number here as well. Back-to-back games, he's smacked this line. He only played, let me see here, because I was disgusted because I bet it, 21 minutes against the Bulls the other night. Got really close to hitting his PRA with just that. The line was actually 34.5 in that game, 25, 4, and 5, but had some good games as well against the Hornets, as you can see on the screen, 30, 14, and 3 earlier in the season in a win. That was when they were still trying to be relatively competitive, but little bit of chalk there. I do like Spicy P. I think he's going to get out there. Even if he only plays 20 to 25 minutes, he's probably going to take a bunch of shots and want to have a good run out there against this Hornets team. So I like Spicy P in this spot. Sauceman, do you like anything in this game?
Nothing in this game. I think Spicy, if he's going to be out there, it's a good spot for him to kind of take advantage. But the big spread and everything else has kind of scared me off.
Some Miles Bridges love in the chat. He had a good scoring game last game. He's had some good games against the Pacers as well. But as Sook said, this team is expertly tanking. The spread makes sense. Total also kind of makes sense. Could be a fun one in Charlotte. Would not be shocked whatsoever if the Pacers ended up covering the spread, guys. But don't want to get involved and bet this team because they could also just want to lose by 30 and be totally cool with that as well. All right. Anything else on that one, or should we keep it going?
Let's keep it going.
Let's keep moving.
Moving groove. All right, let's go to the Garden. The Knicks taking on Danny's Chicago Bulls. Another big spread here, 14.5 points, 237.5 point total, which is pretty normal for Bulls games. Karl Anthony Towns is a question mark, as you can see on the screen. I saw a tweet from our friend Flo, who retweeted this as a Knicks fan in the chat. Cat did take some shots at shoot around. He was dealing with an elbow problem, as you can see. As you can see on the bottom of the screen here via our friends at Outlier. And he was holding that elbow after he took like 2 or 3 shots and went straight back into the locker room. So kind of don't think Cat's going to play. But if maybe monitor that if you are liking some Cat stock, as he does have good games against the Bulls in his past. Everybody else is looking like they're going to play for the Knicks. Full complement of players as well on the Bulls side. I'll jump in and go first. There it is. There you go, Jerry. Jerry knows ball. The Giddler. I got 17.5, so I got a bad line. You can take the 16.5 if you want. Again, the Bulls are terrible. They're tanking at this particular point as well. But Gideon, Trey Jones, and these guys, Buzelis and company, are going to probably play 30 minutes plus for Billy Donovan. He hit this line in 9 of his last 10 games, as you can see on the screen. And just to remind you, Josh Giddey loves playing the New York Knicks, and he loves playing in the Garden. Didn't have a good game against them at home last game, but his last game in the Garden earlier this season, triple-double, 12 assists, 11 rebounds. I like the TD sprinkle as well, but I like the RA as a straight bet.
Let's go.
I like that. And then, honestly, I took an RA, but not on that side. I took an RA on this side. Somebody I haven't bet a ton of this year, but it's because of the Karl Anthony Towns news. I'm taking Josh Hart's RA. He's only played 2 games this season without Karl Anthony Towns. He had 12 rebounds and 1 assist in the one game, and then 6 rebounds and 2 assists in the other game. But that one game was a blowout loss to the Detroit Pistons, where the Knicks just couldn't score. I think they scored about 80 points in that game. Now we're going up against a Bulls team that not only is really bad defensively, but they rank 28th in assists allowed, 22nd in rebounds allowed. And we love a team that very much plays poor defense, but plays at a very, very high pace. And that's exactly what the Bulls do. Second highest pace in the NBA, but they're 21st in opponent effective field goal percentage allowed. They have not been good on the perimeter, 24th in opponent 3-point percentage. All of these things should lead to a ton of assist chances for Josh Hart. I also think we'll see some missed shots on the Bulls side just because of all the guys that have been missing. So yeah, give me the 12.5 RA for Josh Hart.
Old titty milk.
Titty milk.
Back to the well. All right. All right, so 6:30 start for this one, 7:30 Eastern. Let's pick a play for the slate lay. Ooh, that rhymed. All right, Dr. Seuss, relax. What do you guys want to do here? You guys
do you want to keep Giddy? We can go with Hart because I don't want to keep Hart, but we can go with Giddy here too. I like
I do think that Gershon needs a shout out too. I did make a play in this game. I did take Gershon's Yabusele's 10 points for -125. He is a former Knick, got traded away. It's actually really funny if you want the narrative play. He was told that he did say on a podcast that his goal is to play a few more years in the NBA so that he can get health insurance for his family for life. And then a week later, the Knicks decided to trade him to a team in the Bulls that constantly waives guys that they trade for. So maybe Gershon has a good game coming off 15 and 20. The 10 points is -125. That's what I took, and that's hit in 4 of the last 5 games. And as you're seeing there, Nick Richards is out for this one. The other guy that does play center for him is someone I've been chasing in Leonard Miller for his points. But today I decided to just be a little bit calm and take Gershon Yabusele 10 points, flat, -125.
SPJ, before you leave the Gershon chart, could you just pull up his 3-pointers chart, please? Just because.
Oh my God.
I don't know why I'm like this, but could you please? Just, like look at that. Chat, come on, look at that. Look at that, chat. 21st in threes allowed are the Knicks, 18th against centers. I mean, come on, chat.
Come on.
A volume too. He's also shooting 41% in these games.
Taking a lot in the last 5 too.
Mhm.
Do you guys want to do Yabusele 10 points in here? I can get down with that.
I'm so down. Should we do the PR suck or the points? What do you like better?
I have the points just straight, but whatever you guys want to do, the PR might be the move.
Let's just
Let's
go
do the
points.
points. Yeah, if you're on the points, let's do points.
Let's just take the 10 points. All right, so 10. You're shown. Be great.
Dancing bear.
The dancing
What
bear.
do you call him, SPJ?
Yabusele.
There you go.
Yabusele, because he's such a silly guy. Look at him. He's look at his silly dude. All right, yeah. Gershon, be great. 10 and we can save Giddy then possibly for the saucy lay. Although I got some other stuff I like a little better. All right, boys, let's keep it rolling. As I said, another big spread. Lots of them tonight. Man, of all the games, I'm not even opposed to skipping this one. I'll read the odds to you though. The Nets hosting the Hawks, 16.5-point dogs are the Nets at home. Sook sent us a parlay for this game, so I'm assuming he's got a little bit more thoughts than we do. But I got nothing in this game. 224.5 point total. Probably Hawks BTA, but who knows? Sook, tell us what you like here.
Did you see he named it too, SPJ? Come on.
I did. I wasn't going to call him out. I was going to let him.
Yeah, fuck it. It's awesome.
Come on now.
Vsauce always wants my parlays. SPJ names his parlays, so then I sent it to both of them and combined their wants. Might be a little bit of Paris and Brooklyn tonight, boys. We have Nolan Traore on the Nets side playing his fellow countryman and Zakari Ricochet in a large spread. And I'm not gonna say that this is a bet you should take. You shouldn't tail me. Blah 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 blah. But I'm taking Ricochet, the former first overall pick, for 10 points plus 210. I took that for a full unit. I was a little bit wary. These are the kind of things I bet on my own because of the odds being so high. But I do think that in this large spread game with guys that he's familiar with, and we know how Jordy likes to coach, we know how Snyder likes to coach, that the former first overall pick might get a few more runs that you're seeing there head to head. He does play a little bit more against the Nets because they're so poor. So plus 210, this is the kind of thing that I just bet because of the odds.
Should we just take the PRA and move on? Because I ain't got nothing else to add for this one. I like this move quite a bit with Ricochet. The Hawks should win this game by 30 points, but they'll probably end up messing around and not stick around for some reason. So, V, do you have anything to add here?
Nope, but the dogs say yes. The dogs say yes to Zachary Ricochet.
The dogs are barking. If the dogs say yes, then that's all we need.
No, I like
The PRA is like 11.5, right?
Yeah, because I'm going to talk about this a little bit later with one of my plays. But going into the postseason, you want some of your depth guys to find some confidence, and this might be the perfect matchup for that to happen with Zach.
It's not even like find some confidence. Sometimes it's like, sayonara, brother. You won't be in the rotation in a day or two, so have some fun tonight.
Yeah, get after it. I don't have the PRA, unfortunately. What about the 6 points?
Yeah,
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Nice, a little juicy, but that'll work for the slate late. All right, Ricochet. Oh, there it is. 6+ points for Zepale. All right, let's keep it going. Let's go to the next game on the docket. Bucks. Oh, here we go. Bucks taking on the Celtics. 18.5-point doggies are the Bucks taking on your C's here. Lower total 217, lowest total on the board. Full complement of players for the Celtics. Full complement of somewhat players for the Bucks, except we are not going to see Ryan Rollins, who is not going to play in this game as well. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off here. I'm sure Sook probably wants to talk about this guy too, but I took Usman Dang. Usman Dang. 9.5 RA. Give me that. Gimme. I love this line. Hitting 3 of his last 4 games. 7 boards, 10 assists, flirting with a triple-double in their last game. This kid's going to play, man. He's going to play a lot of minutes, whether they're getting clapped or not. I really like what he's been doing on the court. Sook brought him to our attention a couple weeks ago, and he's been fantastic as he has been playing good minutes for this starting rotation for the Bucks. So give me the 9.5 for Dang. That's
I think this is a fantastic play, SPJ, but without harping on him a little bit too much, So I'd like to talk about my play in this game.
Can I move the screen now?
Yeah, it's not often that your two favorite teams being from completely different cities coincide, but today we are going to bet on Green Bay native Sam Hauser back
Oh
in
my
his home
God.
state of Wisconsin. Sam Hauser over 11.5 points and rebounds. Now, boys, we could take the threes if we want it, plus money. That also looks fantastic. I hate the big spread, but like I said, sometimes you got to get your guys confident going into the postseason. Sam's coming off one of his biggest games of the season, 23 points against Miami, 100% true shooting. He's been up and down this year because they've relied on him a lot more to play defense. For the first time in his career, he's going to shoot under 40% from three, but he started a career-high 44 games this year. He is highly talked about as one of the better defenders, one of the best defenders on this team by guys that we constantly watch. Sam Hauser over 11.5 points and rebounds. He's made 2 starts here in his home state of Wisconsin. He has cleared this line in both of them with just the points. He's played here 8 times in his career, cleared this line in 5 of those games, with 2 of those misses, him playing under 15 minutes. The Bucks are bad defensively. They are bad from the three-point line. Give me Sam Hauser, my fellow Green Bay Packer fan, for 11.5 points and rebounds. And yes, I did ladder the tweet. Sorry, boys. I had to get that off my chest. I was very excited writing about this play today.
I'll keep the script some sauce, man.
Hey,
You're
grew up a
you're
Bucs
right.
fan.
If you want like peak mental gymnastics to make something twist and turn in your way, your guy right
Hey,
there.
Tyler Hero in Milwaukee, isn't it? Not Sam Hauser. Come on. In a
Come on.
17-point spread. He's
Come
getting the first one
on.
today. This is the
You are
one.
you are the Simone Biles of narratives.
Yeah,
You
this
are.
is my saucy entry. So we're all betting it today, boys.
This is your
This is
saucy
my
entry.
saucy
This
entry.
is okay.
Yeah,
I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Yeah, Slick likes it. He already told me in private.
I told you
I
in
don't- I
private
don't-
because chat, I do have a parlay, and I'll just say this out here because today's a fucking messy day. We don't know what's gonna happen in the NBA. I went and I took Risha 10, Sam 10, Jamal 10, Jamal Shed,
Jamal
Of
Shed.
the
I was going to say Jamal,
Jamal
10.
Shed of the Raptors.
10. What was that, like plus 1,500 or something like that?
Way crazier than that. It's not showing the number anymore, but I put more on it than I should have.
I'm just saying, chat. Sook was 1 during assist from like 7 racks. I'll just tell him the number. But that's how big the odds were. That's how big the odds were on that assist on that lay that you sent.
I know. All right. Well, since you want to save Sammy Boy for the parlay, that's insane. That's crazy. Sammy.
I gotta change. I'm gonna like die of heat exhaustion.
Yeah, we don't need sweaty
There you
sauce.
go.
So, do you have any other thoughts on this game? You got anything else you want to mention before we pick something and move on?
No, let's pick what we want.
You down to do dang? RA?
I
Usman?
am. I'm a big fan of his game. I am.
I know. Sprinkle the triple double with me. You won't.
I guess the Celtics. I don't know.
Something a little bit more tame. I do think that Peyton Pritchard has been cooking off of the bench, and they let him play out there in that late in that fourth quarter too. Sometimes, you know what I mean. I also do think that I want to ask you guys because the big spread. But do we think that JB just comes out like taking 100 shots with the way MVPs have been just going for 40 after 40 after 40?
I think so, but the problem is the total, dude, is 217.5. Like, I just,
So long.
it's so big, man. And like, yeah,
And they're on
Missouri-
the road.
The Bucks also have nobody.
nobody.
No.
Usman Dang, man. And Sam Hauser. That's all you need in this game.
Mhm.
And this is like a weird thing that like
Dang
I
how
don't know if it's fully true, but I think about this. You're a contender on the road. You're gonna go into a shitty locker room. You have less support staff. You don't have the same recovery you would have after a home game. Like, are you really gonna run these guys down? As Vsauce retweeted, Tatum has played 30 plus minutes and 9 straight. Like, this is not the time that you push any of these guys.
I was thinking the same thing because I've been saying it that Tatum's playing time is more reflective of where they're trying to get him. I don't think that's going to be applying tonight with the way that they've played over the last few games. If it's a blowout, everybody's going to sit.
So is it Bucks plus 17? Like
Probably.
Shaggy was thinking.
Shag's probably at the end, the back door. I want a house or your dang. All right, let's keep it going. Rockets, let's go to Texas. from housing the dang to going to Big D. Houston taking on the Jazz. Another big spread, 18.5-point spread. For favorites are the Rockets here, taking on the lowly Jazz. Bigger total in this one, though, boys. 233.5 points. Kyle Filipowski has been fantastic for the Jazz over the last 3 to 4 games. So has Bryce Sensabaugh, two guys that we have talked about on the channel quite a bit. I'll lead us off with this one. I'm going to KD. Now, I'm not going to KD's points. Maybe I'll regret it. But
Same fucking person, man. Sorry, we're the same person.
Do you take the RA too?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Kevin Durant, rebounds and assists. Plus money, plus 108, depending on where you're shopping. He has been awesome facilitating the basketball in the last 10 games, flirting with TDs, to be honest, with double digits there against the Grizzlies. But, B, I don't know if you remember this. Like, I can't remember if it was earlier this year or last season. Something about Kevin Durant playing the Jazz, he turns into fucking prime Steve Nash. The guy just cannot stop passing the basketball and scoring, and leading to wide open opportunities for his teammates. 5 straight hits at the RA line. The assist line looks tasty too if you just want to take the apples, but I love the RA. You got anything else to say about it, since I didn't even know we're the same person, but not shocked whatsoever?
It's always funner when it's on these like niche props that maybe you and me don't bet all the time, right? But I think this is a great spot for him. He doesn't like, this is a Jazz team that's just so bad defensively that you get your guys out in good spots. Plus, the Jazz are seeing the highest frequency of three-pointers shot against them, and it's just because they're giving teams wide open shots along the perimeter. KD is not going to be a high-volume three-point shooter, but what he does do is drive, collapse the defense, and kick it out. And I do think that should just lead to more assist opportunities. Add in the rebounds because no Steven Adams. I mean, you gotta. And Jabari Smith from our boy Danny Burke.
Hey, and Jabari, man. Love Jabari. Jabari Smith is my favorite, like, 6th man / like, you know, 5th option player on a team that nobody really talks about a lot, that I love watching play. He's so fun to watch. Silky. Suckman?
Anything?
Ooh, interesting. He took the under here. I get why he would take the under, because the Rockets' history is absolutely piss poor. Hasn't even eclipsed 30 minutes. But the last 5 games, I'm going with it. The 26.5 PRA. I thought SPJ was going to bet it when he kind of mentioned it there, but he's just been so good. Just look at that green there. And it's like the history against the team isn't that good, but this is kind of a guy that they've held down, and he's been very, very good in his last few games. And this is a guy that, like, I love asking Shaggy, is this guy good? And if Shaggy says, oh, he's good, then I pay attention. And from Con to Flip to Sion, this is just all these guys that went to big schools and have high talent. And don't Google why Filipowski fell in the draft. Don't Google it.
If you are a frequent tuner in of the show, you know the reason why. I
asked Shaggy, he's in Utah.
I asked Shags about Flip earlier because I was like, Filipowski's been cooking when he was labbing the NBA slate on the morning spread. And he said, well, yeah, I mean, he wants to go back to Mormon country, and Texas is kind of close. Yeah, there you go. But I like it. I mean, it makes sense for him to kind of have an off game after he has been so good. But I mean, who else do they have? Oscar Tshiebwe is playing at center at this team for this team right now. It's basically Filipowski and these other 4 dudes. I don't even know who else they have on the bench. Look at the list of guys that they have out in this game for the Jazz.
Also, 17-point spread. Like I continue to say this, it's more room to work with. It's like margin of error for coaches trying to lose games. And here you have a double-digit margin of error.
And real quick point on Tshiebwe starting, I actually like that for this bet because SPJ, you'll actually understand this. Like, he's like Renaud. Like, he should be a taller 4, but like they're trying to pigeonhole him into a stretch 5. But his skill set is like off the dribble, and he can do this and that. He can finish at the rim. So it's like he's better suited playing with a hanger and banger, and then him being the finesse guy at the 4.
Yep. It's kind of like, this is a really wild, not accurate comparison, but it's kind of like when Giannis was playing really well with Brook Lopez at the 5. Like, you don't want Giannis playing 5. You want Giannis playing that dominant 4, crashing, going in, and you have a guy that can be down there to bang and play defense and rebound the basketball. Again, I'm not saying any of those guys are Giannis, just a comparative on the position aspect of things. All right. Do you want to save KD for the saucy lay then? And we put Flip in here?
Yeah, I'm down. I'm still a little like the huge spread still gives me pause on KD, but I still think we should save him and go with Flip.
Let's go Flip.
Okay.
I just think he's going to play so much that, like, what do we have to lose?
Yeah.
If they're getting clapped by 30, he's still going to be out there. It's great.
Physically, they're okay with him getting hurt over other guys.
Well, they also don't really have that many other guys to put out there. I mean, who else are they going to trot? I mean, did you guys get the text from Will Hardy earlier about going and flying to Texas to maybe suit up for the Jazz? Because, they need bodies, man. All right, let's keep it going.
Oh, I'm very, very sorry to do this, but it's because I've been betting him in secret. Besma Bang, if you get him live, his PA.
Besma Bang. There's your who, ma.
Kid went to Yale, and I've been trying to get his lines and bet him, and it hasn't really worked out. They've been holding him down, but the PA, if it's like 8.5, 9, is pretty comfortable, and he has signed a contract going forward here. Will remain with the organization going into next season. He kind of proved himself, and weird thing to say, but like, dude just goes to Yale. I got a little respect for that. I want to bet on a guy that's a big brain.
You know what we need? We need a Usman Dang and a Besma Bang parlay. That would be peak right there.
Well, you got a French parlay of Dang, Trior, Richeche, and anybody other baguette eater you can find.
Reno.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's keep it going. From all that talk, let's go to apparently LeBron's least favorite city in the state of Tennessee, Memphis. Let's go down to the Beale Street. Grizzlies taking on the Raptors. Another huge spread. I'm just gonna keep saying it because it's true across the entire NBA tonight. 14.5-point dogs are the Grizzlies here. 14.5-point faves. Raptors on the other side. 233.5-point total though, because the Grizzlies defense optional. Full complement of players on the Toronto side. Still no Emmanuel Quickly in the starting lineup. Jamal Shed trotting out there running the point for the Raps. I mean, the Grizzlies, as you can see, Ryan Rupert finally getting his run. Suck. What do we like here, guys? The only thing I looked at before you guys talk, RJ Barrett has great history against the Grizzlies. Maybe his points could be interesting. Raptors got to win. They got to win this game. Stay competitive in the Eastern Conference race right now. And the Grizzlies have nothing to play for. But could be a little bit of a dangerous trap spot on a Friday night in Memphis. Shag said earlier the tickets to this game are $5. $5. So stanky. I can smell it from over here. It's like, the Afro Man part where he goes, woo! Good morning, ladies. That's what this line smells like right there. Stank.
Yeah. Stank. I have no idea. And I know Sook said he's on Jamal Shed, so I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, I'm all over Jamal Shed. I have his 10 points for a big plus money in parlays just for fun. But for plus money as well, I did take, sorry, V, you put me on the spot there. I did also take Jamal Shed's over 15.5 PA plus 100. He is a guy that can rip off 10 assists in a very quick fashion. And I do think that he's a very good player. Also, he is from Manor, Texas. So he is from the South playing on the East Coast. He doesn't get out there much. Maybe he'll have some friends and family. Maybe he's close to home. Maybe he's feeling comfortable. But at the end of the day, this is the backup point guard for the Toronto Raptors. He's going to see plenty of minutes against a guy like Javon Small, who's a two-way player. So I just went with Shed. I could not resist that plus money. So 15.5 PA for Jamal Shed.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I'm down to put this in the slate lay, or if you want to save this for the saucy. I like both.
I want to save this one. It might bump up slightly. I mean, the parlay, sorry.
Yeah. Double-digit assists in 3 of his last 5 games, too. 6 games.
Yeah.
Love that.
Sauce Man, you got anything to add here?
Nope. That's all I wanted to hear. I'm all in on Shed.
You guys down to put down to double dip on Shed? Or
we could take Sandro threes for the slate lay.
Sandro PRA looks very tasty as well, if that's what Bisney is liking.
I think he's saying the threes because of the way we cashed the other day, but I'm down to the PRA too. So
let's look at
you guys took the 2 with Adam the other day, right?
Yeah, we did. Both spreads kind of sold our souls. Next Wednesday, though, I'm going to get Adam to believe in the props a little bit more. I know he definitely is still a little bit hesitant, but those big ass spreads, not the way. Not the way.
That's green, Daniel.
Look at the PRA over the last 5-6 games for our man Sandro. I can't never do it. Mamu Kalashvili. There we go. Every
This
time
is
I
the
say
one.
this name, Sook, I think of thousands of UFC dudes.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's
his off
because,
seasons are spent in Dagestan. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
No, that one fucker's from Georgia. The guy that just broke his nose. The short guy. Marab's
Oh,
from
Merab.
Georgia.
Marab Davish. Yeah, his name's similar to.
Davashvili.
There's the Vili on the end. Vili.
Really? Yo, I think we take Sandro for this.
Yeah.
Okay. PRA.
Because not the other day, more than once, I had bets on Jakob and bets on CMB, and Jakob didn't come out for the second half. So I think we go Sandro.
Sandro.
That's so frustrating.
Let's go with the pra for Sandro. Just gonna leave it at Sandro because I'm not looking at his name. Damn it, they don't have his PRA. Or I'll just do the 15 plus. It's very juicy, but whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just
The
like
PRA?
fine. Yeah, 15 plus PRA. All righty, let's keep it moving and grooving. A couple more games on the later part of the slate. 2 more to go. Mavericks at home, second smallest spread on the slate here tonight, boys. Mavericks hosting those stanky Orlando Magic. 6.5 point dogs are the Mavs here, taking on the Magic. The Mavs and the Mavs. Mavs and Magic. 239.5 point total. Crazy. Full complement of players on both sides. Franz is back. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but Franz Wagner is back for the Magic. Only played 20 minutes in his first game back, but he is back in the starting lineup. I got to play, but I need to step away for just a second. So you guys just talk for a second about what you like in this game, and I'll be right back.
Sauce man, what you got in this one? I think that when SPJ comes back, he'll talk a little gaffy, but what are you thinking?
I think that there's a little bit of a narrative here with the two Duke Blue Devils going head to head tonight. I think that Paolo and Cooper flag that this stuff matters, right? We saw it the other day with Con Knipple and Jason Tatum. Both guys were kind of just going band for band to start that game out. I think this is another spot here where we're looking at a team that is both not the best in the Magic and a Mavericks team that, yes, is not good at all, but their offense has been significantly better since Cooper Flagg's taken over as the team's point guard. He is doing a lot to stuff the stat sheet, and there's really like 6 games left to make it a little bit of an argument for yourself at Rookie of the Year. I was thinking maybe Cooper Flagg PRA if he stuffs the stat sheet a little bit. I don't want to bet on Paolo. I don't feel confident in him whatsoever, but maybe Flagg in this matchup. We saw he had a big game against the Celtics too. I think these guys care just a little bit, all having come from the same school.
Well, also Con broke the franchise record.
Yeah, there you go. That's
interesting.
true. That's so true. He just broke the franchise record. First ever rookie to hit 253s in the season. Like, there's a ton of stuff that's going on right now with this rookie class, and you get to go toe to toe with Paolo on your home court. The last game ended by 1 point. It was a 1 point loss for the Mavericks, and that came less than a month ago. I definitely think this is a spot where both guys are going to go head to head, and we see maybe some fireworks. SPJ?
What are you guys talking about, Cooper?
I was talking about
Cooper
the Duke
and,
narrative, the Blue
Dukies.
Devils.
Makes sense. Flag has not really been as good over the last few games in the RA department. Did have 10 rebounds in their last one. But it takes Daniel to know it, Daniel. I'm going to Mr. Gafford, PR. If he's going to step away now. 18.5. It's dropped down. It was 19.5. But, man, just absolutely love what we're seeing from Daniel Gafford in this spot. Great matchup as well, taking on the Magic. Eats Wendell Carter Jr. for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 13 boards, 13 boards, 12 points in their last game. Double there. 18-8 here. Love the PR line. Just get after it if you would like to for the PR line for Gafford. You can also just take the boards if you don't want to rely on his scoring because, he's just kind of a get down there and bully ball the ball into the cup rather than, doing anything fancy with it. So I like the boards as well if you just for a little bit of a straight bet if you want to go that direction.
I like Gaffy.
Gaffy, baby.
Let's ignore his response to the Ivy stuff because I like him.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about, so I'll ignore that because I don't want to go down that road. Shall we just take Gaffy for this then?
I think so. I do.
Okay. We could also take did V like Paolo? Anything Paolo related?
He said he didn't want to take Paolo. He was more leaning towards Coop. And I kind of agreed because Khan's been playing great, and I'm sure he wants that ROI. But the points, I think the books are aware because it's 24.5, or I think 20 something and a half. If we take Cooper in the slate lay, I think we do his PRA or something and hope he has a 40 PRA game at home tonight.
Probably could. I mean, it's a huge total. American Airlines Center could be one of their last home games down the stretch here too. Do we just take? That's
Danny,
spicy.
Under
Do we
5.5.
take Paolo or do we take Cooper's 35 plus PRA here and maybe save the Gaffey stuff possibly for the saucy lay? I'm down to ride with Coop.
Let's save Gaffey for the saucy then.
Okay. Cooper Flag, 35 plus PRA. All right, last game, Sook. Let me just pull it up here. Last one on the big spread. A couple of these games just tipping off here in the beginning part of the slate. Hope you guys are enjoying everything right here on this beautiful Good Friday. If you're celebrating out there, I mean, I don't know if you're celebrating a Good Friday, but it's Friday regardless. Hope you guys are enjoying.
I celebrated Good Friday. I just had a family event, day off, kind of thing.
I'm supposed to be in a cave, so you know things happen.
Yeah, we'll get you there once we hit 520. We'll get you there.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I roll where I'm supposed to go. Last game of the night, Kings taking on the Pelicans. Another close spread here, 6.5 points. Kings, 6.5 point dogs at home, taking on the Pels. Pels have been good over their last, you can see they haven't been very good winning basketball games, but been playing a lot more competitively. Kings are terrible defensively, 232.5 point total. Interestingly enough, so DeMar DeRozan has been awesome over the last 3. You can see that there was a stretch where he was barely playing, and now he's just like, oh, yeah, by the way, I still know how to score the basketball a lot. Not great games necessarily against the Pels, but this is what I took in this game, and then I'll get your thoughts on what you might have here. Going back to Precious, who just had a huge game against the Raptors, 28-19. But if you look at how he's done against the Pels, had a really good game against them at the beginning of the month as well, 29-12. So I took the PR 24.5. I think the line's nice and tasty there. 23.5 is what I got it up to 24.5 now. I think he has a chance to flirt with yet another double-double. Rebounding line at 8.5 looks very tasty too. So give me Precious, man. We talked about these guys at this point of the season. Sook, a journeyman in the NBA, looking to take advantage of his 30-plus minutes of playing time, looking to take advantage of also being a actual scoring option on an NBA team versus a guy who's just out there to play defense and rebound. So yeah, and he's taking advantage of it. And the Pelicans, they've been playing better, but they're still really bad defensively. So yeah, I really like Precious in the PR here.
I like Precious in that. I was actually kind of sad that we did not jump on the bandwagon there. I had it on my notes that he's going to take on the former team. Didn't come to fruition with us getting there with the bets, but this is the game I don't have an official bet in. This is the kind of game that's like so absolutely disgusting that there's definitely potential to hit like a plus 1,000 on maybe somebody like a Derek Queen getting 7 assists. There's just so much here because I've talked about this so much. Like, I do think Max Renaud is an NBA player, but I don't think he's an NBA center. And I do think that you should fade them guarding any centers in this game. So Derek Queen is the one guy that I had circled. And I also do think that Zion Williamson has been getting 20 pretty consistently. If we're going to see a big game out of him before the season's out, it might be tonight. And Fear's double-double. That's probably insane odds, but kid's great. Kid is great.
Yeah, any love for Jeremiah Fears here? He had 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 13 points when they played. Kind of flirted with a double-double there. Flirted with a triple-double a little bit. If you want to look at it that direction there, too. Had a good game in their last game as well. 21 points against the Blazers. We talked about that a little earlier. So he can be in a decent spot here, too, old Jeremiah. Sadiq Bey's getting...
Can you toss that up? Sorry, with Jeremiah, can you toss that up without DeJounte? Is DeJounte in or out today? I think pretty sure he's out. Yeah, he's out. Yeah, it changes the math. I think when you take the PRA with Fears, it's always a good look when DeJounte's out.
A lot healthier versions of double-doubles there, too, with a couple sprinkled in there as well. So if you're getting, what's the double-double value? Just for chat. Yeah, plus 2,200. That's a nice little cup of coffee sprinkle for sure. Oh, show. V, welcome back. Anything you like in this Kings Pelicans game to round us out?
No, nothing in this one. Sorry to run out like that. My cat got outside and he's not like easy to wrangle in. And he's not
You
an
live in
outdoor
a
cat.
petting
Don't come
zoo.
back. I am well aware. Okay, so but it's
Yep.
fun. Okay, it's fun.
All right. What do you guys want to take for the last play from the slate lay here in this?
I liked what I saw about fears. What you guys were saying. The RA too.
I also now looking at my bet slip, I do have the straight of Eves Missy 14.5 PRA on the over. But that's just because I watched the last Pelicans game and he got a few dunks and he was looking good and he's been held out of the lineup. I played that straight. Today's the most disgusting day in the NBA I think we've had this
in a
year.
while. And this is again, like I said to start us off, the conglomeration of spreads at an average of 12.2 is the highest spread total in like 35 years in the NBA. So there you go.
The Fears RA does go pretty hard in the last 10. 6 of his last 8 without DeJounte, sorry. Back-to-back misses, but like it's green.
He's a dude that in 2 years from now he'll get traded from the Pelicans and he'll turn into a superstar.
He'll be Dyson Daniels 2.0 somewhere else except more the offensive version.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Fears, 7.5 RA in the saucy slate lay. There it is. 7 picks for you guys. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen there. Plus 28.73, excuse me. Kind of went through the entire slate, picked out some grody stuff, but tail responsibly if you would like to get involved and have some fun with us on the NBA tonight. All right, boys. Chat's on fire today, man.
Yeah.
Apparently, Chat thinks Alex should have his own show. He had his own show with Danny at the Fantasy Formula. Maybe we'll bring it back.
Chill out, Chat, okay? It's going to go to Alex's head, okay? No, I'm just kidding. I love Alex. I text him almost every day for the last couple of days.
Wow. You guys are friends now. I love it, man.
Interesting.
All right, there it is. Scrolling at the bottom. 7 plays. It's 7, Uncle Willie. It's at the bottom. There it is. Get after it. All right, let's.
The dancing bear.
Real quick update. Hornets up 14-9 early on the Pacers. 76ers up 7-5 on the Wolves. Those are the first 2 tip-offs that have gotten underway in the NBA as we're looking at it right meow. All right.
Right meow.
Right meow. Sook, to stress you out, what's your favorite?
Let's do shed. Let's do shed, PA. Bump
PA.
up.
I like it. 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 Raptors spread P or shed PA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Jamal 15.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
PA.
Still plus money?
Minus 105, pretty much. Okay. Jamal Shed, 15.5 PA. Do we want to do Durant in here?
Yes.
I'm also pretty. I like the Giddler.
Ooh.
The Giddler.
I don't
What
know.
was the line you took again?
16.5 RA.
16.5 RA, yep.
I mean, he's playing. He's not a guy that goes out there and half-asses it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gonna play, and he loves playing in the Garden.
So
Let's take Giddy.
I said, get it.
The question is though, do we want to trust Durant, and do we want to trust the Jazz to stick around with the Rockets long enough for Durant to play long enough to cash the RA?
That's my question.
That scares me because he's old.
He is old. He's also played the second most minutes in the NBA this year.
He's old.
Bro, the guy doesn't even use lotion. He's aging before our eyes.
What about something in that Duke face off? My God, so
Oh yeah, should we do Gaffey? We took Cooper Flag in the saucy lay, the PRA.
yeah, we could take Gaffey from Alex and SPJ.
The PR.
Mm-hmm.
Or just, you know what? Let's just do the rebounds just for this, because that guy just, man, sometimes scoring is just a big old challenge for him. 7.5 rebounds for Daniel Gafford. We need one more, boys.
Oh, Sam Hauser. Come on. 11.5.
Right. Right.
Oh, you already had my leg plugged in, man.
How could I forget?
Sammy.
All right, PR.
Sammy boy, please don't let us down.
I can't wait for the bitching text I'm going to get from V.
Oh my God. The clip's going to be so much worse if he doesn't hit. It's not ready for that. Daniel.
He's in there, Alex. No, taking the
Take
rebound.
the PR?
No, it's the rebounds.
It's the rebounds.
For the lay, I have the PR straight, Alex. I'm already writing with you honorarily. / we didn't even talk about it because we're apparently synced up too. Jamal Shed, 15.5 PA. Josh Giddey, the Giddler, 16.5 RA. Daniel Gafford, Gaffy, 7.5 Reeves. And then V's narrative of all narratives, 11.5 points and rebounds for Samuel Hauser, plus 1,000. This lay is disgusting.
Yes.
Chat, do you think you'd ever walk into a place and put these 4 guys in a parlay together? Never.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sook. I mean, yeah, you. For the chat's like, what?
We just built Sook's biggest parlay tonight. What do you mean? We just built it out on stream.
That is insane stuff, and I love it. Shed, Giddey, Gafford, Hauser. Bang, bang. What's the hang? Let's pay for the drinks tonight. Good stuff, boys. Great show, as always. Chat, we appreciate you guys for tuning in for the last 2 hours right here on the Betting News Network. Get out there and enjoy your Good Friday night. We got a fun weekend for you guys ahead, as well as we have tomorrow 3 shows back to back to back. Morning spread to get you started on your Saturday AM. Kick that hangover, get a cup of coffee, and lab the slate as the Final Four is here starting tomorrow. Shags will be breaking down that with you guys at 9:30 Eastern. And then I will be live with Danny Burke. We have a special guest joining us. Mr. PJ Glasser will be in the house tomorrow morning as well to talk about the Final Four games on BETSPRESSO. And then Sook, myself, and Trizzy Betts will be live in the Violence Report Octagon to give you the moves for what's going down at the UFC tomorrow back in Vegas. 3 hours right here on the network. If you haven't subscribed, give us a subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We're like 3 followers away from 600. Keep following us on Twitch. And obviously, if you're watching us across all the platforms on X and everything else, if you're not following, give us a follow. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Boys, anything else?
Yeah, the headphones are a mess. I've been missing one for like the last 10 minutes.
You only need one in, really. I mean, that's the best part of those singular ones. You look like you look like the type of guy that's sitting on a yacht making a business deal, like sipping a Cosmopolitan, you know?
Yeah, you know what I mean? A little foreign beer too.
Making some business deals.
Making some business deals to the books.
It's like somebody feeding audio into his ear, telling him exactly what to say and how to say it. This is how you get through the shows.
Yeah. It's like Sook's little like AI
like the Truman Show. Now tell SPA that's a good play, and they're just like laughing in the background.
That's true. You need like a backwards fedora.
Now tell me Sam Hauser can hit 3 threes.
Like the guy from Truman Show.
Yeah.
Go follow Sook Brar on socials. He's tweeting more. Some of them will make you want to mute him, but that's okay. At Just Sook, at Vsauce with 3 A's. Hey, Sook. Hey, V, we're here. Sook's hit 2K.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
Bing bong. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to the All Sauce team. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a great Friday night. Be safe out there. Enjoy the basketball. If you tune into one of these grody games, get involved and have some fun watching it tonight. And we'll be back live with you guys in the AM. Boys, anything else before we get out of here?
Let's have a Friday.
Nope, I have to pee. Let's call it a day.
You guys came for the winners. You stayed for the vibes. Have a great Friday night. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Take it easy, chat.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about?